以下內容純屬主持及嘉賓個人意見，與星匯網立場無關。
Hello， 大家好，歡迎嚟到我哋今日嘅 New Gould 同你週五話遊啊，係嘛？咁我哋喺一個咁嘅 title 入邊嘅 Reptilian 咧，大家知道啦。我幾年前咧喺我陰謀背後嗰度咧都有講過啲 Reptilian 或者有啲人叫 Lizard Man 啦、Lizard People whatsoever 啦。咁啊今日好特別，點解咧？因為我要企啊，因為你知道咧係嘛？我
show 下身材，
梗係啦，你睇下我而家啊！你睇下，哇，係咪先？咁我梗係企啦。阿 Neil 話：喂，你得唔得㗎？我梗係得啦，大佬，我唔記得廿幾磅。咁啊，呢度咧歡迎啦。點解咧？好多新面孔啦嚇，介紹下先。點解有咁多人咧？咁啊人才仔仔咧就係除咗阿靚女阿 Jenny 之外啦，咁啊有阿 Neil 啦，咁然之後 Grace 大家都好熟悉㗎啦。咁呢一個靚仔大家應該都唔識㗎啦，就叫做咩咧？阿 Jim 啊。咁啊 Jim 咧好有心啊。點解咧？因為佢頭先1個鐘頭幾之前咧。就嚟到咧，就同阿 Neil 咧傾咗好多嘢，咁啊喺度哇，自就好似即係好似失散咗兄弟咁啊，咁啊傾咗好耐偈。咁啊今日大家知啦嚇，咁啊 Neil 咧就用咗1個月嘅時間同大家去做一啲嘅 research。呢個 research 咧就係講緊咧，我哋講緊一個叫 Reptilian 啦。So what we are talking about, Neil brings to us tonight's program. The title is Reptilian, what we call the lizard people. Neil, I just want to ask you.Some of the rumors, because my program also mentions some royal family. Do you believe royal family are reptilian? 一嚟就已經考下佢先啦。
係問下嗰個貴，我哋嗰個
係皇室啊，
皇室係咪蜥蜴人嚟嘅？
係啦，係啦。
Yeah, we will get to that answer because
later on
we are going to go through about reptilians.
All right.
And we'll get to that because it does tie in.All
right. So one of the picture that I saw, the guy in the pictures really looks like Neil Gould.
Well, he's.
I'm just wondering, is it if he is Neil really?
He looks like me.
一個人好鬼似啊，其實真係啊。OK。咁啊，阿 QQ 話咩啊？台長塊面細咗，係啊。第時咧個台長塊面就咁細嘅啦會，細過我呢個心。OK。好。咁啊，今日咧 ，all right, so let's start, all right?
Let's go to the first PowerPoint.
All right, cool.
So today we will be talking reptilians. So if we go to the first page.
好，得我哋去揾一揾。好 ，OK, let's go to the first page.
Yeah.
一個嘅特徵啦 what do they look like?
Okay, well the exophenotype, we should go to the exophenotype page.
第2頁佢已經。
Okay.The phenotype.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so there we can see. If you look on the right-hand side, sorry.
Okay.
Up on the right-hand side.
Let me do the hard things for you. All right. This is the hardest things in the program. Okay. That's the cursor.
Okay.
All right. Okay. You can move around.
All right.
Push it.
This thing.
Push, you can see the cursor, right?
Yeah. How do you move it? You move it there like this?
Yes.
This one?
Okay.
No.
Press it like this. Okay. Press it, and then you can move around.
All right.
Okay.
Press it.
No.
And then
press
that
one.
Okay. Press that,
arrow.
right?
Yeah, press the arrow.
Okay.
Like that.
Release it. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. No problem. Let's do it again. 嗱，唔係咁易嘅。It's a hard job. I can tell you. It's really a hard job. Okay.
All right. Anyway, move it to the right-hand side.
Okay.
Okay, there. That's fine.
All right.
Okay. So, phenotype basically means the category of the life form. Okay. You have animals. You have different lions. You have different giraffe. You have different rhinoceros. Different phenotypes.
All right, OK， 好 ，Jenny。
phenotype 嘅意思咧，即係其實唔同嘅生命體佢嗰個屬性嘅，佢嗰個歸類係點樣？
What we're going to be talking about is the reptilians, which is the second one down.
Reptilians 見到蜥蜴人就係第二個咧，即係灰人下邊嗰個嚟嘅。
Yeah. In that category, there are many, many different kinds of reptilian.
你見到蜥蜴人咧，其實有好多唔同種類嘅蜥蜴人。
But we are going to really just briefly talk about 4 kinds and then concentrate on 1 or 2 kinds.
咁我哋今次咧就會提一提其中4種啦，而就會其中呢4種入邊咧有1兩種我哋會抽出嚟係特別去講嘅。
But also remember that the reptilians are master geneticists.
咁但係我哋要留意啦，蜥蜴人咧其實係遺傳學大師嚟嘅喎。
They are responsible with the Greys for manipulating the human genome.
OK。
咁其實佢哋係負責同啲灰人一齊去點控制人類嗰個基因嘅。
冇錯啦。
Yes. And in this program, we are going to talk about people who have been abducted by these reptilians.
Wow.
And some very, very horrifying stories.
咁我哋今集咧就會講啲人係被蜥蜴人去腦拐咗啦，同埋係有一啲好可怕嘅經歷。
So one of the types of reptilians is the Draco. They're about 22 feet and they can weigh 2,000 pounds.
嗱，咁係啦。
Yeah.
咁咧其中有一隻係叫天龍人啊，咁係可以去到22尺高啦，同埋2000磅咁重嘅。
And they have wings.
同埋仲要有翼嘅添。
And then the other type is what we call, it's also a winged Draco, but he's a smaller kind, and he's probably about 8 feet, something like that, with wings, and they do appear quite often.
咁仲有另外一隻細隻啲嘅天龍人呢，就係7至8尺高啦，咁佢都有翼嘅，咁佢係多啲會出現。
And they have red eyes.
佢哋有紅色嘅眼啦。
And the subspecies of them are what they call the Mothman.
咁佢哋個種類呢，就係啦，嗰個天鵝人、飛鵝人啦。
Let's go to the next slide.
我哋可以睇下一張，就比較清楚啲見到個圖啦。
Well, that's the exophenotype. Those are the winged Dracos on the right.
咁右手邊嗰個呢，就係天龍人啦，係高翼天龍人，就係頭先所講去到22尺高噶啦。
And notice it's a statue. Just for the time being, notice that.
嗱，暫時你睇到咧，呢個係個雕像嚟嘅啫。
Okay. And then to the left, you see we have the winged Draco or the Mothman.
咁左手邊呢個咧就係嗰個飛鵝人啦，就係紅色眼有翼嘅。
Okay, let's go to the next slide.
下一張呢個就係
嗱，你
Neil
哋覺得似唔似阿 Neil？I
That's
think this one is
must be
really
me.
looks like you.
Must be me.
Yes.
All right, so you can see this is witness testimony.
阿 Neil 打假髮啊！
We had a video, but we can't obviously show it because of copyright problems.
嗱，你見到呢條片咧原本係條片嚟嘅，不過我哋就因為係你知 copyright 嘅問題，咁我哋咧就而家就節錄咗咁樣擺出嚟嘅。其實係一個見證者啊，佢作出一個聲明嘅個 testimony 係。
Yeah, so we will eventually post all these videos. Maybe we'll find another
All right.
site or something just
Cool.
so it doesn't conflict.
All right.
So we will eventually post these kind of things. So this gentleman was driving along in a car, and as you can see, one of those Mothmen flew in front of the windscreen.
So that's been it still exists in the world,
It
right?
still exists in the world. It still exists in the world.
Okay.
He got a terrible shock because this damn thing came to the front of the car.
I always think this is an urban legend only.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, no.
Oh, that exists 㗎。然後咧，阿 Neil 同我哋講咧，呢一隻嘢咧，其實咧係仲係存在喺呢個世界㗎喎。
唔係都市
就係啦，唔
傳聞嚟
係都市
㗎。
係啦，exactly，唔係都市傳說嚟嘅喎，好驚喎。
咁呢個人佢就係揸下車就見到呢一隻咁隻 天龍人啊，
係
咁就喺
或者叫
係啦
飛蛾人啦
係飛蛾人啦，咁佢就淨喺個擋風玻璃前面好近嘅，
哇
所以係而家係仲係存在㗎。
That's scary, man.
That's scary, and many times it happens, and people are too afraid to report.
Oh my goodness！即係其實阿 Neil 就話咧，有啲人咧就係太驚啊，所以 that's why 咧，其實佢哋冇報過警嘅，基本上。
但係就係發生好多次。
好係啦，其實
係啊
exactly 即係好似阿 Neil 而家呢個 info 咧，就係發生咗 too many times all over the world。
Yeah, they've never been known to kill anybody, but they're
Wow.
certainly very scary.
Yeah，
佢冇殺任何人㗎，
Yeah.
不過就真係好得人驚啊，好嚇親人啊。
horrible。
Yeah.
Yes。
Okay, so the next slide.
All right. The next slide.
Here we've got the reptilian that's generally seen in abductions.
Wow.
They have the crown, they're muscular, they don't have wings. This is the crown here.
A bit disturbing you. So that's mean, what you mean is all the abduction cases are made by the reptilian?
No,
or
no.
Not the
Not all
greys?
of them.
Not all of them.
A lot of cases, the reptilian is seen in the background, and they claim that they only drive the ships, but it's not true.
Okay, got
It's
it.
not true. They're
All right.
geneticists, they're master geneticists.
OK，即係我頭先就問佢，我話喂，其實係咪好多老鬼嘅 case，即係都係 reptilian 做？佢話唔係嘅，一陣間阿 Neil 就會慢慢去講翻一啲abduction cases 究竟係啲咩事。
咁呢個蜥蜴人咧，咁我再補充翻少少，佢
好啊
話係平時咧都比較多見嘅，就係佢冇翼㗎啦。咁但係咧就有個冠嘅，你見到佢嗰幅相嗰度。咁同埋係好大隻嘅，
muscular
好 muscular 嘅。咁佢話呢隻蜥蜴人咧就會通常喺老鬼嘅事件裏面咧就會俾人見到。咁有時佢哋係喺個背景嘅啫，即係唔係佢做主導嘅。
OK
咁呢啲蜥蜴人聲稱咧就話佢哋只係負責駕駛嗰個飛碟嘅啫。
Wow.
And in a lot of cases, they actually have used genetic manipulation with the greys.
OK.
So the greys, a lot of the greys are covered in a false skin, but underneath is what we call sauroid.
Sauroid,
They have
all right.
scales
Yeah,
and a
yeah,
slit
yeah.
eye. They're
Right,
greys,
right.
but they hybrids.
I see. 即係其實有啲係混種嘅，即係咧啲小灰人同埋 reptilian 咧都有啲混種嘅，佢都係叫 hybrid 啦。咁但係呢一樣嘢咧，即係等陣間阿 Neil 去慢慢講。
即係所有有輪啊，
係啦，有
好似蜥蜴
鱗片嘅，
咁樣
係啦，
只不過就
即係蜥蜴
笠
人。
住個小灰人嗰個
係啦，
皮
就係好似而家呢一張圖咁啦，the red jacket，because no
That's a
actually
hooded.
obviously it says reptilian, right?
It's a different kind of
Is it
reptilian.
a different kind of reptilian?
Yeah, they're smaller, and they
Okay.
wear the hood.
Okay.
And when they talk, these reptilians, they speak like this.
All right. How about the tongue? Is it divided into two?
They have a
like
split tongue
the split
as
tongue,
well,
right? All right.
and they talk like
Okay.
this.
So they always just wear the hoodies.
No, just that kind. Wears
Oh,
the hood.
okay. Not
They've seen them.
not the jacket, only hoodies, right?
Just they wear a little jacket, a little
Oh,
robe,
right,
and the hood.
Okay. I thought they just
Yeah,
had hoodie.
and
Right,
there's
okay.
arguments. Some of them have genitals,
Oh, okay.
and some don't.
All right. Cool.
Okay,
Got it. All
and the
right.
genitals, and a matter of interest, I'm sure you'll be interested in.
Yeah. No.
The genitals are not hanging out like a man; they're inside a slit.
Oh.
So when they get excited, the slit opens and the whole genital will come out.
Okay, one question. I just want a fast question. It's what you mentioned about the hybrid. Is there any kind of reptilian that is a reptilian and also our mankind,
Human and reptilian.
just human and reptilian,
我哋應該
can be a hybrid?
Yes, and I will explain that to you later on in the show
Okay,
because
cool.
a lot of it is energetic.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'll be so excited.
And that
All right.
answers the question about the queen.
All right. Okay. The
Okay.
royal family, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
哦，咁
It's
我
an energy.
All right.
集合咁啊翻譯下先。
嗯
嗱，咁頭先講呢個係個類獵色啊，就係下邊有戴住個 hoodie 啊嗰個衛衣嗰個
衛生衣
係啦，
嗯
嗰類嘅蜥蜴人啦。咁呢類蜥蜴人就會細 size 啲嘅，細型少少嘅。咁但係佢哋講嘢咧，依然都會好似蜥蜴咁樣啦，同埋咧係條脷分叉嘅，係啦。咁Neil 頭先咧仲提到話咧，佢哋嗰個性器官咧，其實就唔會好似人類咁樣係外露嘅，佢哋係有塊掩咁樣去收埋嘅，係啦。咁同埋咧頭先台長咧就問即係混種啊，有冇人類同蜥蜴人嘅混種啦？咁我哋稍後就會再詳細講，連埋係英女王皇室嘅都會再睇到嘅，冇錯啦。
好。 哇，
All right,
好緊
let's
張
go to the next
so
slide.
excited，so excited 真係。Okay, so
Okay, so we're going to be talking about the historical presence
Yes.
in our reality.
All right,
Okay.
okay.
So what you're looking at there are basically statues that were found
Where?
in Mesopotamia, Sumeria, in the Middle East.
Samaria. All right.
They're
Okay.
5,000-6,000 years old.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
係啦，
And they're
咁
reptilians.
係呢啲圖咧，你見到其實係雖然係雕像嚟嘅啫，咁係一啲遺跡啊，係喺中東嗰帶見到揾到嘅。
但係真係好似蜥蜴人喎，佢嗰啲咁嘅雕像，
嗰隻眼
係啦
啊嗰
，exactly，
啲
啲眼啊嗰啲
個
咁嘅，
鼻啊
係
，the
啦
nose, the
係啦係啦
features, the
the
facial
nose
features,
is-
they really look like reptilians.
，they
They are
don't like
reptilian.
us actually. Yes. All right. OK， 好，我哋
Okay,
下一張啦。
next slide.
哇，好緊張。
係啦。
哦
All
，Adam
right.
and Eve, right?
Okay, so the reptilians appear in Adam and Eve, and you can see that they are the providers of knowledge. Okay? When Adam and Eve were naked, they were told, don't eat the apple. The reptilian gave them the apple, and they became knowledgeable. They realized they were naked.
All right.
And
all right.
the human, this
But
is just, it's kind of a
A
metaphor. It's kind of a
Yes,
metaphor
yes,
for
yes.
life.
Right.
But the reptilians were involved.
That's why the snake induced Eve to eat the apple, right?
Right. But it's a
Okay.
reptilian. Obviously, in that time, it was a reptilian, not a
Right,
snake.
right.
But you can't put a lizard on there, as people get scared.
Exactly. 所以點解個 snake 會 seduce Eve 咧
Right.
就要去食呢一個嘅禁果啦。
係啦，
嚇
個禁果就係令到亞當同埋夏娃係開始有智慧嘅，咁同埋佢會知道我自己冇着衫呢個覺知，咁所以其實喺聖經裏面已經講咗，蜥蜴人係代表能夠帶俾人類知識同智慧嘅生物嚟嘅。
冇錯 ，right， 好犀利。
Okay.
OK，
Next slide. There you can see some of the cultures, the Buddhist folklore.
What is this?
It's a naga, it's a kind of a dragon snake reptile.
OK。
So they worship it. So you can see already the influence of the reptilian on religion in the early days and how it's manifested.
OK。
All right?
咁嗱，其實睇翻可能泰國啦或者印度啦，其實都有水龍嗰啲傳說嘅，或者個宗教嘅。咁其實就佢哋都係其中一種蜥蜴人嚟嘅。咁可以係啦，咁所以就其實你見到蜥蜴人喺好早已經喺宗教嗰度已經有影響啦，同埋已經有佢哋嘅像啊咁樣啦。
So naga is like the Latin word for like the cobra.
Cobra.
Okay.
OK。What is this from Indian? Or
This is from India.
India 右邊嗰個就係泰國嘅，
OK。
係啦，左邊就係印度
印
嘅。
度嘅 OK 啦。
And reptilians are called nagas, you know. So
OK，即係喺當地嚟講咧，即係喺印度咧，佢哋都叫 Naga 啦。咁頭先阿 Jenny 都有講過啦，喺個圖嘅左邊啊，你見到嘅咧就係
印度嗰啲
印度嗰邊
唔同嘅圖
係啦
啦。
嗰張大個圖咧，即係好鬼靚嘅咧，嗰個
就係泰
咧就係
國啦
泰國啦，冇錯啦。OK，
okay, next slide.
係啦，水龍啊嘛，我都聽過，大家都嚇。
All right, so we're back to this archaeology
The reptilian story.
in the Ubaid period,
All right.
thousands of years ago in Mesopotamia, in Sumeria. These statues were dug up, and remember that this area, Sumeria, is the basic beginning of our civilization.
咁其實你睇到呢啲圖版啊，或者係嗰啲銅像啦，即係話喺5000至7000年前已經發掘咗出嚟㗎啦。即係佢啲銅像係話應該係5000年、7000年前嘅歷史啦。咁佢喺蘇美嗰度咧其實係人類個起源嚟嘅。咁即係話嗰陣已經係有蜥蜴人嘅銅像或者佢出現啦。
Yes, some of the, at that time, different star beings, sky gods, came down.
OK。
Now you can see on the left, those are the ancient clay seals in Sumeria.
Okay.
It shows you an Anunnaki. If that man sitting down stands up, you'll be like 12 feet tall.
OK，Anunnaki 大家都好清楚啦。其實好多嘅即係節目我哋都有提及過 Anunnaki 呢一個民族啦嚇。咁阿 Jenny 麻煩你啦。
係啦，咁咧其實呢啲就係當初呢個 Anunnaki 或者坐喺度嗰個人咧，就你企起身就有成12尺咁高嘅。咁呢一啲人咧就係稱為 star being，即係星嘅物種啦，同埋佢哋係 sky god， 係天上嚟嘅神嚟嘅。
And you can see up there, up there, you can see there's a solar system
哦，係喎，
How
即係
would
呢
they
一度
know?
啊。
How would they know?
係啦，嗱，佢就話啦，喺當時阿努納奇族入邊嘅話，喺一個完全冇任何嘅天文嘅技巧或者冇任何嘅儀器嘅話咧，阿 Neil 就話啦 ，How do they know？ 佢哋點知道會有一個 solar system 嘅，有一個太陽系出咗嚟㗎？係嘛？冇可能嘅事嚟㗎，啱唔啱啊？OK，我哋繼續啦。
All right. Next one.
好啦。
Okay, so when we come to quite an important part now,
A lot of statue. Wow.
all our institutions,
Wow.
the reserve banks, important buildings.
Yes.
What do you see? Oxford University
Museum.
in the
right?
in the UK the museum, they all have reptilian statues, whether they're
Wow.
Draco, whether they're
Yes.
just ordinary reptilians,
Right.
but they're there.
OK，嗱，呢個 Peru 啦，秘魯啦，好。
係同埋啲大學啊，你見到譬如
好犀利
金
係啦
融中心嗰啲銀行啊，或者係牛津大學啊，咁呢啲好重要嘅機構咧，上面都有呢啲蜥蜴人嘅雕像嘅，有啲可能係天龍人啦，有啲可能係普通嘅蜥蜴人咧，即係最右手邊 Oxford 嗰個就係普通啲啦。
係
咁但係你中間嗰個有翼㗎啦，就好似我哋頭先見到個天龍人嗰個形象啦。
So these reptilians, like the one up here, that's in South America. This is in like the UK. Whoops, the UK. All around the world, these reptilians were. The same like the pyramids all around the world.
Yeah.
So there's more to this world than we are told.
即係我自己覺得呢樣嘢，你冇呢樣嘢嘅話，你雕嚟做咩啫？係嘛？
點解要雕呢一種物種
係
咧，
咯
或者係呢隻蜥蜴咧？
唔係咯？你冇得雕啊嘛，咁樣係嘛？
同埋仲係全球嘅，即係好似金字塔咁樣係全球性嘅，唔係淨係某個國家有。
係啦，OK，all right。
Next slide.
Next slide. Wow.
So in Africa, they were mining for diamonds.
All right.
咁係
And
係啦，
we had a video for this, but we can't show that. But we've taken clips so you can see they were mining for diamonds, and they found these little statues called Namola.
Namola 即係喺個熒光幕嘅最右手邊有一個 Namola 嘅 Reptilian 啊，叫做好。Please Jenny。
係啦，咁佢其實係非洲嗰度咧，啲人開採鑽石啊，
係
咁嗰陣就揾到呢啲過百個呢啲咁樣嘅小嘅雕像嘅，咁呢就叫 Namola 啦。
哇，OK，好。
All right, so that goes to show that these things were revered, they were worshipped by locals all around the world.
咁就見到其實喺全球性咧，都係見到有人係崇拜呢啲蜥蜴人嘅，
Bringers of knowledge.
佢係帶來智慧同埋知識嘅。
Okay, next slide.
OK。
All right, this is a hard word to say.
Serpent。
Aseptles.
OK。
If you look on the right-hand side, you see that medical sign. I'm sure you've seen it.
OK。
The medical sign.
係，因為好多醫院啊，好多城咧，every hospital，every even
Yeah.
our
Ambulance 係
even our health department。The logo is more or less the same.
Right.
Using the snake, I mean.
Using the naga, using
Yeah,
the snake, using
naga.
the reptile.
Oh, what you call is naga, right?
Naga, you
Okay.
know.
Naga
因為頭先都有講過啦嚇，即係佢印度
水龍
嗰方面都叫 naga 咁樣啦。
Yeah.
All right.
It's supposed to be the intertwining of the snakes
OK，因為
for
twist
the,
嘅一
for
路
the
係咁
upper
喺
world
度
and the lower
捲住
world
係啦
where they
，OK。
meet.
即係原來發覺到嗱，今日睇我哋嘅周五話又正啦。原來阿 Neil 講呢樣嘢咧，就係話佢 to 即係如果個 snake 咧咁樣 twist 一支權杖或者支嘢咧，原來去 to another world 咁解嘅。
係啦，即係上面就係上天嘅世界啦，
係啦
下邊就係所謂 underworld，即係可能 spirit 啊或者鬼啊靈魂啊
係
嗰啲咁嘅世界係啦。
呢個我真係又學到嘢，今日又有。
Okay, let's do the
Okay.
next slide.
All right。好，咁我哋就下一章去講咩啦？OK。
All right, that's Dr. Sitchin.
OK。
He wrote those famous books, The Seven Planets.
This is
Many,
Dr.
many.
Sitchin,
Dr.
right.
係啦，呢個
Sitchin.
考古學家佢係寫第7部行星與地球編年史嘅作家嚟嘅。
He could read the Sumerian seals, just like you read a book. He could read
Okay.
all that language.
OK。
佢可以睇到，佢識睇啊嗰啲蘇美神嗰個版啊，佢嗰啲文字係點解嘅？
And it's obvious by the stories.
What is the story about
The stories that you read inside, you know, the seventh planets about the Anunnaki, who
Anunnaki.
came.
Okay.
How Enki was the geneticist and Enlil was the king.
All right.
And
Okay.
Enki is the one who was responsible for the genetic engineering of the human race.
Get it.
So there's a big argument. Were the Anunnaki reptilian or were they not?
All right. Okay.
My argument is they were both there at the same time.
What do you think?
I think the reptilians were there and the Anunnaki were there.
Okay.
And they were each doing their own thing
Okay. At the same time.
at the same time.
All right. Cool. All right. Please.
嗱咁咧根據嗰個博士啦，咁佢就話佢話 Anunnaki 咧其實係就係基因改造人類嘅，係啦。咁當時咧Neil 就話佢相信嗰啲蜥蜴人同埋 Anunnaki 咧係同時存在喺同一時期嘅，咁只不過係佢哋做唔同嘅嘢咁解嘅啫。
即係 overlap 咗，其實
係 overlap 咗
啦。OK。
係啦
Cool。
同埋你睇下嗰幅圖，其實係蛇同埋 DNA， 佢點解 intertwine，即係點解係咁樣交叉？
有啲扭麻花。
就扭麻花，其實就係講緊你蛇。
即係其實你見到係啦，我哋而家嘅 genetic 咧，大家都知我哋啲 genes 啫。即係我哋啲 solid 嘅 DNA 啦，咁就係好似一個扭麻花咁，係喎。嗱，而家你睇到嘅就係話咧，喺個我哋嘅西醫嘅 logo， 即係 Department of Health 又好啦，或者 ambulance 啲 logo 啦 ，whatsoever 都有一個 snake 咁樣 twist 落去個 snake 度，同我哋嘅 genome 同我哋嘅 DNA is more or less the same，right？ 哇！
即係有原因，唔係佢無啦啦咁樣亂咁話
扭麻花咁樣。
係啦，其實佢 refer 緊個 DNA。
Okay.
All right, next slide.
Okay.
And there you can see again a sculpture, a carving, and this time it's on the wall of the Oxford University, and you can see reptilians.
Wow.
Can you see?
喺牛津大學。
So you can see that 6,000 years
imagine
ago
it.
they were
Right,
both
exactly,
there. They were both there.
Yeah.
And some of the reptilians were underground and some were on the surface.
係啊，咁嗱，其實呢個就喺話喺博物館啦。咁其實由頭先見到喺牛津大學都有啲蜥蜴人嘅形象嘅。咁有啲蜥蜴人就喺地底啦，有啲蜥蜴人就喺天上面嘅。咁就會係唔同種類嘅蜥蜴人嚟嘅。
OK，呢啲都係石雕嚟嘅。
係啊，石雕嚟㗎，
石雕嚟㗎。
係啊，係啊，係啊。
All right, cool.
Okay.
All right.
Next
one. All right.
All
Human
right.
history and the reptilians.
So you can see they're talking here again about the sky gods with Anunnaki or the reptilians. They both were involved in the genetic engineering of humans.
So what you mean? Sorry, I just wanted to say. What you mean is the human beings and the reptilian, it's closely bounded together.
Right. Basically, they've taken the genetics of the human. They've taken the genetics of the local, whatever they were, apes or whatever.
Right.
And there's been reptilian genes also put in and cleverly mastered to keep us subservient, to keep us down, but to follow the will of the gods.
Okay, get it. All right.
咁頭先提到譬如人類，我哋而家嘅人類其實係點樣出嚟嘅咧？就係由可能係猿人啦，即係有當地地球嘅猿人，跟住又抽一啲係蜥蜴人或者蜥蜴人佢嗰啲 DNA 混種咗之後咧，就令到我哋而家人類咧係 keep 住係 downgrade 咗啊！亦都要聽話，即係聽 reptilian 話，聽蜥蜴人嘅話，咁就易控制。
So you see, they appear in all religions.
Yes.
And haven't you noticed how people follow the religion? How they're scared? How religion tells you, don't do this, don't do that, or you go to hell.
So that means
we're bred like that to be kept like that.
The theory is just like the same as I think, because I've been told, I mean, maybe 20 years ago, the religions. The main function of the religions is to control people.
Correct.
Is that right?
Absolutely. By the gods.
Exactly.
We did the mining for them. We took the gold out for them.
Cool. I know. Understood.
And what they did was the high priests, they kept the humans with a high priest with a different bloodline. And those high priests today are your king and your queen, Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan, all the people of power.
哇！所以呢集大家真係
have the reptilian gene more strong.
Exactly. 嗱，呢一集咧係可以講到成個世界觀，或者甚至乎宗教點樣控制我哋嘅人類，點樣個 reptilian 點樣同我哋嘅 human beings 去點樣變咗個 hybrid 等等咧。今晚阿 Neil 咧就會同大家去 繼續長談呢樣嘢，唔好意思啊。
唔緊要，好好。即係頭先就係話嗰個宗教啊，即係我哋宏觀晒所有嘅宗教，點解都係要跟隨住佢哋嗰個上帝咧，同埋係要聽佢哋話，如果唔係就會去落地獄啦咁樣。咁其實呢個係我哋嘅基因入邊已經 built in 咗啊，即係我哋係要跟隨住呢啲所謂嘅神。咁同埋做出嚟就係我哋要跟隨啲祭司啊，咁就去做一啲挖掘啊工作，掘金啊 ，follow the rules 啊咁樣。咁就係聽話，就係聽一啲 bloodlines 啊，即係嗰啲皇室啊，嗰啲血統嗰啲人啦。
我哋時都講叫 13 bloodlines 就係咁解啦。
係啦。
OK。
So you understand? So the royal family, you're asking the question, energetically, they are more reptilian, and sometimes it shapeshifts.
Shape-shifting， 即係話咧將個樣變咗嘅，即係我哋有啲叫 eye shifting。點解咧？陣間 Neil 應該會講嘅就係一個 human eyes 點樣去 shift 到變咗個 lizard eyes 咧？大家知道咧，譬如我哋青蛙或者係蜥蜴，咁你知係欖核形啊嘛？點樣一個圓形變咗個欖核形咧？陣間 Neil 就會同大家去講下噶啦。
I always remember the story of, I don't know if you remember the old Prime Minister of the UK, Edward Heath.
Edward Heath, yes,
Edward
heard
Heath.
of it.
One day he was in the studio, he went into the bathroom, and one of the other people went into the bathroom, and Heath looked at him in the mirror,
So what?
and his eyes shapeshifted into reptilian eyes
Oh, my
and
goodness.
came back again. And this guy freaked out.
You know, too many footage in the YouTube.
Yeah, you see
I mean,
it.
reporter, royal family, and also celebrity.
Of course.
Celebrity like Beyonce,
Yeah.
like
People with power.
Lady Gaga 唔係
誒，仲有好細
and
嗰
then
個男仔叫做
JC 都有人影過，係啊 the celebrity. I mean, not everyone, but most of the celebrities are reptilian.
Have you noticed how some of them get killed?
係咪 Angelina？
Angelina。
Angelina Jolie 咁講唔係，Lady Gaga 就唔係 ，Radio Gaga 就都唔係，Radio Gaga 係 Freddie
The
Mercury
Queen
係 Radio。
係啊，咁啊頭先阿 Neil 講到嗰個 Edward Heath 啊，佢話佢走去洗手間嘅時候咧，咁有另外一個人見到喺塊鏡度見到佢倒影咧，係隻眼變咗蜥蜴人咁樣眨嘅，就嚇到嗰人即係好驚啦。
即係蜥蜴人啦，阿 Jenny 嘅意思即係話嗱，我哋嘅人個眼球圓卜卜噶嘛，圓卜卜碌噶嘛，咁樣咧之後咧一邊咧就變咗一個欖尖形啦，我哋叫做。
同埋佢眨眼就會係打動嘅，係啦。
All right. So the next slide. Now here's an interesting story.
What is this?
This man in America,
Gonna tell or what?
he got like he was complaining of a chest pain. He was taken to the hospital,
All right.
and the doctors x-rayed him, and they found out an amazing thing.
What is that?
You know, our heart have 4 chambers.
Yes.
Yeah? To
and
each
4
side.
vessel, right?
Right. This man had 3.
Oh my goodness.
He had 3.
嗱，咁咧其實呢件事咧就喺美國咧德州發生嘅，咁
Is it
有
born?
個
Sorry，唔好意思啊。
唔緊要。
我講 Is it born to be like that or
Right,
some kind
so
of
now
incidents?
we've got to look at something with the genetics. Something got confused because
right. 唔好意思啊，唔好意思啊。
when we came out of the sea
yes.
as fish, we had 2
All
chambers.
right. Grace，我知水邊。Okay. No, I just want to have a water.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
When we came out of the sea, we had 2
All
chambers.
right, Jenny, please.
咁咧就有個男人咧就話佢個胸口好痛，咁醫生 check 咗咧就發現原來佢係有3個心房嘅，咁其實人類咧係有4個心房嘅心室啦，咁係蜥蜴咧先至會有3個嘅啫。咁係原因係因為我哋人類開始嘅時候咧，就係由魚啦，係我哋嘅 origin 係魚嚟嘅，咁魚係有2個心室嘅啫，跟住咧就變做蜥蜴啦，蜥蜴就有3個心室啦。
Okay, so and then with this guy, they found the 3 chambers,
Okay.
and this could be a genetic mix-up from the genetics that the reptilians have been putting into us,
即
you
係
know,
基因改造咗啦，基本上係。
because reptilians have 3 chambers.
All right.
All
因為頭
reptiles.
先阿 Jenny 都講過啦，其實蜥蜴咧就有3個心房嘅，我哋人類4個嘅，所以會唔會係蜥蜴？即係我哋叫做 Is it what we call the reverse engineering? I mean the reverse genetic engineering.
So atavism 佢叫做係反祖啊，
It was just a throwback in
Yeah.
the genetics. Some
Is that some kind of reverse engineering?
Some kind of part of the genetics went wrong and it reverted back to,
Yeah, that's right.
to the reptilian.
That's right. Oh, okay, all right,
係啊
please.
就因為我哋本身已經有蜥蜴嘅基因喺度，咁所以出現一啲反祖嘅現象嘅時候，即係退化，咁我哋就會人類本身就4個心房嘅，就變咗係得3個啦，咁就會出現有3個心房嘅呢個 case 出現啦。
Okay, cool.
Okay, in the
Cool.
top right-hand corner, you can see kid was born with a tail.
Okay.
咁右上角呢張相咧，見到呢個男仔係出世就已經有條尾喺度啦。
係咯 he's got a tail.
Which is the extension of the coccyx at the bottom of the spine.
Okay.
It may or may not be a genetic throwback, the same kind of
即係我哋
thing.
叫尾龍骨啦，
尾龍骨嗰度
但係無端端
係啦
就飛咗一條嘢
有條
出嚟，
係啦，
係啦。
有條尾啦，叫
Is
做
it。kind of look like the lizard tail?
Just an ordinary tail that grows. I mean, we don't have tails,
All
you know.
right, yeah,
So
exactly.
why is there a
Why is
tail?
our tail? Right.
Well,
So-
some maybe explain it's a monkey's tail.
Well, you could say it's a monkey's tail, but it's more likely to be related
lizard.
to the genetics for wherever
Alright,
that genes originally came from.
That's
you know?
for sure. The genetic will be just reversed already or modified already, right?
Yeah.
係因為我哋有呢個基因本身係有蜥蜴嘅基因喺度，
係咯
咁所以先至會出錯咧，就會翻轉頭又生一條翼出嚟，生一條尾出嚟。
係啦，冇錯啦。即係阿 Neil 都話，咁我哋有冇 tail？我哋冇尾噶嘛，係嘛？唔會有尾啊，人類。咁點解佢會有尾嘅咧？咁呢一個係一個好大嘅問題嚟嘅。All right. Okay, let's stop here. Rock Chan want to ask why this civilized period in the past had broken down without any sign, and they came to be modern era. Thanks.
佢意思係咪即係中間嗰個文明突然間斷層
Can you see
咗，
that?
跟住就
Can you see the
跳咗去而家個世界啦。
Right. Okay.
So that means why the Anunnaki or the
Why is
civilization of
the civilized periods break down?
suddenly stopped, broken down, and
Just
then
like
it came to us.
just like the Mara, right? The Maya is like that, right?
Yeah, it
It's
didn't really
disappeared.
stop. That's where we came from. We are a continuation of that.
Okay.
Because you remember,
Right.
at that time, the sky gods brought in how to do agriculture, how to grow food.
Okay.
And the civilization of Earth exploded in that area,
okay.
in the Tigris and Euphrates River in Iraq, you know,
Got it.
that area.
Yes, exactly.
So it didn't stop, it continued.
Cool.
係咁啊！阿 Neil 頭先答咗，其實冇停到嘅，其實一直都喺度依然發展緊嘅。只不過當時係嗰啲天神咧就教咗人類，譬如耕種啊，或者係建築啊咁樣。咁而家其實係只係冇咗，it's just that the sky god has gone, was not around。
That's right.
即係只係佢哋唔再喺我哋身邊啊，就走咗啦。咁所以就係我哋嗰個發展係依然都進行緊嘅。
Okay.
Yeah. So you up to now, what you've seen is that the presence of reptilians in our statues and our archaeology and in the genetics, we now have a palpable feeling that reptilians, their presence is here.
That exists, right? Still
All right.
exists, right?
咁由頭先講到而家啦，其實係講緊蜥蜴人一直係存在嘅。由嗰啲歷史上嘅雕像啦，同埋去到而家話我哋嘅基因入邊其實都含有蜥蜴人嘅基因喺度嘅，咁就證明到佢係一直係關我哋事，係我哋一部分啊。
我冇帶電話添，delete咗條撚樣先，你都9唔搭8呢度有。OK，好，繼續講。
Okay.
你老尾都有尾㗎。
Okay, and another skin disease.
Yeah.
They have scales.
Yeah.
咁頭先就見到另外呢一幅圖啦，即係有尾嗰個下一幅圖啦。咁咧就係牛皮癬嚟嘅。咁呢一種病即係大家都應該有聽過啦。咁就係啲皮膚係有鱗狀同埋好乾嘅，其實就好似蜥蜴咁樣啦。咁亦都係其中一個證據啦，去證明其實我哋人類都有蜥蜴人或者蜥蜴嘅基因啊。So that is another proof of evidence that
Not
shows
really, but it gives you an idea that it's just really is metaphor in a way. You get a skin disease, but the point is that there are lots of genetic throwbacks to some people who have a lot of reptilian in their genes. Because DNA is not only physical, there's energetics. There's energy.
即係頭先呢度嗌出咧，唔係淨係基因嘅問題，仲係有啲 energy 喺度嘅。咁係蜥蜴人帶來佢能量啊，係影響緊我哋而家嘅人類咯。
Okay. Next slide.
第18啦，應該。
Okay. This is an interesting case. Unfortunately, again, we can't show the video, but what it is, we've taken some of the pictures out to explain to you. This lady was in bed one night.
咁咧呢位女士咧就有一晚咧喺即係瞓緊覺嘅嗰陣。
Yeah, her name is Charmaine de Rosio, right?
係啦，係佢個名叫 Charmaine de Rosio。係啦，咁你見到佢個名係叫做 Reptilian Human Hybrid 嘅，佢係蜥蜴人同埋人類混種啊。頭先睇到
樣都似蜥蜴人喎，真係講真，係嘛？
啲化妝
唔係化妝啊！即係你話都係啲化妝嚟嘅啫，係咪先？佢樣都似蜥蜴，佢唔變咯。She looks like reptilian.
A little bit.
All right, okay.
But she was there, and the reptilian came into a room and took her into this cave deep underground.
Really?
Yes.
咁佢親身講翻啦，就係話突然間有一晚有一隻蜥蜴人嘅生物啦，就捉走咗佢，然後帶去地洞嘅。
And there was a group of reptilians when she got there, all around her.
全部都係蜥蜴人。
咁佢話帶到去一個地方咧，就所有蜥蜴人都圍住佢啦。
How would you feel?
Scary.
Huh? What are you going to do?
Yes, I was scared to
Right.
death.
Well,
I
imagine
can
how
tell
she
you.
felt. But she's brave. She talked about it.
And I'm pissing for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
咁但係佢好勇敢去講翻出嚟，因為即係正常人都會好驚啦，去到咁嘅情況。
Okay, so what they did was they put their hand on her, and she looked down and she saw she had a tail, and she morphed, she shapeshifted into a reptilian, which is what her genes are.
咁發生咩事咧？就係圍住佢嗰班蜥蜴人咧，就每個人都放一隻手喺佢嗰度。咁呢個女仔就見到自己個身體咧
有變化啦，
係啦，開始變啦，就多條尾啦，同埋見到自己從一個人嘅人形啦，就啲皮膚啊咁開始變到係好似蜥蜴咁嘅皮膚啦，有鱗啊咁樣。
So you can see that the DNA, the genetics, they're responsible for the physicality.
All right, okay.
All right?
咁所以見到其實 DNA 咧，我哋個基因咧係包括係負責我哋嗰個外表嘅。
But the energy behind the DNA that the reptilians can control, okay, can override the genes. It can make the reptilian genes manifest to reptile more than human because you have both.
So that means the reptilian genes is stronger than the human genes.
If they
right?
put the energy more into
the body.
Into the body.
Right. Okay. Cool.
咁呢件事咧就係解釋咗，雖然DNA 負責我哋嘅外表啦，但係蜥蜴人佢可以加強佢蜥蜴嘅能量，即係因為每個人擺隻手喺佢嗰度，係加強佢啲能量咧，令到蜥蜴人嘅能量會 override 咗，即係超越咗我哋本身人類嗰個有個 DNA， 即係好似呢個女仔咁樣，因為嗰個能量好強，即係個每個蜥蜴人都擺啲能量落去，咁所以變咗佢個身體，亦都影響咗出嚟係變咗個蜥蜴啦，有尾或者皮膚會變咗係蜥蜴咁樣啦，有鱗片咁樣啦。
Right, exactly.
So she realized that that humanity is all about genetic manipulation. We were manipulated by so many extraterrestrials.
咁呢個女仔就因為咁咧，就發現咧，其實我哋嘅基因咧係受到唔同嘅種族，即係呢啲外星人咧去操縱嘅，所以令到佢可以變翻做一隻蜥蜴人啦。
Okay.
All right, next slide.
Next slide. Wow.
All right, so we come back to now Africa, where I'm from. Now, I just tell you, when I was a child growing up, we had, like the gentleman you're going to meet after this, we have these witch doctors,
Okay.
or sangoma.
新光嘛，right？
咁阿 Neil 咧其實係南非嚟噶嘛，咁佢話喺小朋友嘅時候咧，其實就會有嗰啲 witch doctor 啲巫醫啊，係啦。
And I met one. His name was Quatso.
Quatso 即係之前係有個人叫 Quatso 嘅。
係國蘇，
And he was explaining to me about what we have in South Africa called the tokolosh,
Okay.
which is a little guy,
All right.
and he causes havoc when he comes into
Okay.
people's rooms at night, and the Africans are shit scared of him.
Okay. So that's mean from your point of view, Neil, there are different species of all the reptilians.
Absolutely. Many.
Wow. Okay, please.
咁啊 Neil 就話其實佢細個嗰陣就聽到啲古仔，就有啲好細嘅人仔咧，就會夜晚黑走嚟嚇佢哋嘅。咁台長頭先就問啦，係咪其實有好多唔同種族嘅外星人咧，或者係唔同種族嘅蜥蜴人咧？咁其實真係好多好多嘅。
All right. Hold on.
So in South Africa, what we used to do, we had African servants in our homes
Okay.
when we grew up.
All right.
And they had their own quarters where they lived.
Okay.
And the land, right?
Okay.
But-
I can't see the comment. I mean, later on. Okay, please continue.
yeah.
Sorry.
So basically, every single bed of every single servant was
睇一睇個 comment.
always raised on bricks.
Okay. All right.
It was raised on bricks. And the reason why the beds were raised up is because the Africans were scared the tokolosh would come. Okay?
嗱，咁Neil 就話你細個嗰陣咧，住嗰啲屋啊，即係佢有啲南非嘅嘅其他 staff 啊咁樣啦嘅 servant 啦，咁佢哋咧住嘅屋仔咧，全部都係用磚嚟起個床嘅。咁其實個原因就係佢哋驚呢啲 tokolosh 咧叫做。就係佢夜晚嚇佢哋嘅，咁所以佢哋已經係傳統係會咁樣將張床咁樣升起嚟，係用磚咁樣去起張床。
Okay. One of our audience asked me, is it possible for the extraordinary people are staying deep inside the earth, out of the space, and some are pretending human beings? Thanks.
In this world, in our world?
Yes.
Of course.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yes. The answer is yes. All right. Oh, another slide. All right.
All right.
Credo Mutwa.
Credo Mutwa. He is a witch doctor and Sangoma. Okay.
Credo Mutwa 咧，其實係一個巫醫，同埋係其實 like a shaman 係啦，有個好似薩滿咁樣啊。
薩滿一個宗教啦，大家都知啦嚇，都係。
Yeah.
Okay.
He lived in South Africa, same as me, and he died 2 years ago. But I spoke to him before he died.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, Credo Mutwa is a very interesting character because they are the traditional storytellers. They pass on the old information.
Okay. All right.
咁咧呢位 Credo Mutwa 咧，佢一樣同阿 Neil 一樣咧，都係喺南非嘅。咁2年前佢就過咗身啦。咁其實之前阿 Neil 係有同佢傾過偈嘅。咁即係 Credo Mutwa 佢嗰個即係身份咧，其實係知識繼承人嚟嘅。佢係會不停透過古仔去傳承翻一啲傳統啊，或者係歷史嘅古仔嘅經歷咁樣。
All right. Now, as a child, he was always very sick and poorly. But he wanted to become a shaman and a healer. And as he got older, in order to do that and to get the knowledge, he had to go through a very, very difficult ritual.
All right. Okay.
咁咧好細個嘅時候啦，阿 Mutwa 咧就有好多病痛嘅。咁但係為咗要成為一個薩滿啦或者治療師啦，佢哋係需要經過一啲好困難嘅儀式啊，或者係啦，咁先至可以攞到相關嘅知識嘅。
And one of the rituals he had to do was to eat a cooked human hand.
嗱，其中個儀式咧就係要食人嘅手啦，係屍體啊嘅手嘅。
This hand, this hand, or the forearm, or the whole arm.
This hand.
Only this hand.
This hand.
All right. Cool.
You had to eat it.
食嘅手啊！
Oh.
That's nothing. When I was young, I was on a farm in Africa.
Okay.
And
Did you in person just
I saw something. I will tell you.
All right.
Okay.
Did you see it?
I saw the Sangoma.
Eating hands?
I saw worse than that. I saw afterwards. We opened the door, and one of the farm workers was hanging up with his neck split open and his chest open, and all his organs were hanging out. Some missing.
All right.
And they'd been eaten. And I saw that
屌啦！
on a farm
我哋
in
講唔講得嘅
Zululand.
出唔出得街嘅？
出啦
Why
Wow,
me?
what
Why
the-
me?
Yes, exactly.
Is it
But I saw it.
raw？
Yes,
Leave me alone,
yes,
don't
yes.
leave me
Leave me
alone,
alone.
leave me
Da, da, da.
alone，仆街出飛。OK，好，繼續
啊
講。
嗱，阿 Neil 話佢經歷過一個好可怕，真係好得人驚，大家要有定心理準備啊！咁佢話嗰陣係見到即係開門就見到嗰啲係即係當地嘅農夫咁啦，咁就吊咗個人
度頸，
係啦，
我哋匿文啲，
度頸
度頸，係啦，
咁咧就個肚就劏開咗啦，
個胸口
個胸口
開
劏
咗，
咗，個肚都有嘅，都佢流晒
係啦，
啲嘢出嚟，
流晒啲腸啊、
係啦
胃啊，
咁其他就喺度，
好似啲
係
嗰啲雞嗰啲腐翅啊，我媽食呢個腐翅啊，係啊，
So
咁啲人就喺度食，咁同埋係生嘅。
成 set 腐翅喺度食啦，OK，
So this all over Africa, you still have these rituals where people who are very black, they have to fear for their life, or if they're lighter than black, very light-skinned blacks, they fear because their organs are important medicine.
all right，
OK
哦，原來係可以。
可以保護
係啦
嘛，即係佢有
exactly
啲佢話非洲有啲係好黑嘅，Are those tattoos or the painted black? You mean?
No, they just normal their skin. They just happen to be light
即係
skinned.
等
Their
於
medicine
以前
is more
嗰啲叫
important. The organs have more energetic power.
Have you heard of voodoo?
Yes,
Just like more or less
more or less,
more or less the
more or less,
same, right?
more or less, yeah.
voodoo 啊，即係啲點講啊？你
嗰個係嗰個巫術嚟嘅係一種。
係啦
咁阿 Neil 就講其實佢哋點解個皮膚會較深色啊或者較淺色係因為佢哋嗰個係能量啦，入邊嘅能量係揾巫術啦係會多啲嘅，咁所以係去保護翻，is protection of the organs，right？係想咁樣去保護翻佢嗰個身體。
If they're light skinned or very dark skinned, their organs are worth a lot for the medicine. So they're scared of for their life because they'll be kidnapped and have their organs taken.
即係嗰啲 organ 更加好。
就因為佢係即係如果佢嘅皮膚係個膚色係會特別深或者特別淺嘅時候咧，佢哋嗰個內臟咧 suppose 係個能量係會強啲嘅，
Yeah,
咁所以啲人
exactly.
就會捉嗰呢啲人咧去食啦。
And this ties in with the culture of the African tribalism and the Chitauri, the reptilian that are there in Africa. It ties into the same ritualistic
Okay.
way of life.
All right, cool.
咁呢一個所謂呢個文化咧，其實係同蜥蜴人當地嘅部族啦，同埋蜥蜴人咧係息息相關嘅。
有關嘅
咁所以佢哋先至會做出呢一啲咁樣嘅儀式啦。
Okay, will you excuse me a moment? I have to make a phone call.
That's okay.
And I will be right back after
No
the phone
problem.
call. All right, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so what Credo Mutwa was saying that on one occasion he was abducted by the Chitauri.
咁嗱繼續講翻咧，阿 Credo Mutwa 咧，佢係被呢個 Chitauri 啦，即係其中一個蜥蜴人嘅名啦，咁係俾人老拐咗嘅。
And when he was taken underground, he was put onto a metal table.
咁當佢被帶到去地底之後咧，佢就俾人擺咗喺一張金屬嘅床度啦。
And he saw these reptilians all around him.
跟住佢就見到啲蜥蜴人圍住佢啦。
And also with these reptilians were these greys.
咁除咗蜥蜴人之外咧，仲有灰人喺度嘅。
But he also got to see that the greys, when they took off that outer skin and they took off the black eyes, underneath were reptilian slit eyes and sauroid skin with scales. So they were hybrids.
咁咧阿 Mutwa 咧，佢見到呢啲蜥蜴人除咗佢哋嘅皮膚之後咧，就見到佢對眼即之前啲灰人咪好大嘅大眼，黑色大眼，除咗落嚟咧就變咗係蜥蜴人嘅眼啦，即係 欖核形啦，同埋打洞咁樣眨眼啦，同埋咧啲皮膚咧係有鱗片嘅。
Okay, so what this was all about was they would extract semen from him.
跟住發生咩事咧？就係呢啲蜥蜴人咧，就從Mutwa身上咧係攞走佢嘅精液啦。
Sometimes it was done with a machine, and sometimes it was done with a female to create hybrid.
咁有時咧係會用機器去做呢個即係攞佢精液啦。有啲時間咧就係有一個女性嘅蜥蜴人去同佢發生一啲關係，而係製造個混種嘅。
Now, many of us who've experienced abduction have gone through the same thing. Many abductees have gone through the same thing. This is a common experience where you're on a table. Sometimes you see a beautiful woman, and when it's over, it's not a woman, or it's something sitting on you that's not very pleasant looking.
咁啊，其實呢個都係一個 common 嘅，即係一個普遍嘅 case 嚟嘅。好多被老鬼仔咧都有講翻，佢哋都係被擺上一啲金屬床上邊啦，然後咧就可能會見到一個好靚嘅女人啦，或者係總之有人坐咗喺身上邊，跟住之後咧慢慢望下就可能係一啲生物啦，或者係蜥蜴人啊，咁係唔係一個好愉快嘅經歷嚟嘅。
But the point is, what they make you see is something beautiful, and that's what you're seeing. So you're looking at this reality, which is meaningless. It's not the reality, it's not real.
咁個重點係咧，其實佢哋俾你睇嘅影像咧，未必係真嘅，可能係俾你睇到一啲係有好靚嘅人喺你面前啦，但係可能係冇意義嘅，因為實際上係可能係好醜樣或者好得人驚嘅事嚟嘅。
And they also manipulate your sexual urge. So they can turn it up and up and up and up and up until you go crazy.
同埋佢哋係有能力去控制你哋嗰個性慾㗎，咁所以嗰啲蜥蜴人係可以一路 turn up， 即係較大較到越嚟越大，咁令到啲人係即係黐一線咁樣，即係好 hyper 或者好亢奮。
So many of these Chitauri have always been on Earth. They claim to be indigenous to Earth. That means they come from Earth.
咁呢啲 Chitauri 啦，即係都係蜥蜴人嚟嘅其中一種。咁佢話佢哋長期已經好耐㗎啦喺地球。
And they also claim that there's 20 or 30 different species of them.
佢話其實有成20-30種嘅物種喺即係喺地球，或者係佢哋有20-30個物種係。
And the Reptilians explained to Credo Mutwa that humans are stupid because they're just destroying this planet.
咁其實佢有同Mutwa講啦，即係人類其實係好愚蠢嘅，因為而家係正在即係摧毀緊地球。
Because humans were given information, they were given a code of life, how to live, but they became greedy and they became destructive.
因為人類其實係即係被賦予咗知識啦，同埋係即係生命啦。咁但係因為貪念啊，或者其他可能一啲慾望啦，咁令到佢哋即係逐漸摧毀緊地球啦。
Okay, next slide. So basically that is covering what I've said, so we can really go to the next slide again.
係，其實頭先都係咁樣講啦，就係即係摧毀緊。佢話其實Mutwa咧有講到過去咧，其實好多嘅世界啦，都係被一啲高智慧物種去摧毀嘅。咁而嗰個原因係因為侵略嘅心啦，或者係愚蠢啦，或者係野心啦，係令到呢啲高智慧嘅物種咧摧毀咗自己所住嘅地方。
Now, according to Credo Mutwa, the Chitauri also explained to him that the Reptilians were harvesting humans, obviously killing and eating.
咁根據個 Chitauri 同 Credo Mutwa 講啦，其實蜥蜴人咧係一路有收割人類嘅，咁佢哋愛嚟係即係食佢哋啦，即係同埋即係捉佢哋上去做唔同嘅嘢啦。
But they have the ability energetically, right, to absorb the energy that humans give off when they becoming sexually rampant or violent. The Chitauri love that energy. When humans are rampantly raping, having sex, violence, war, you know, when they're emitting huge emotions, the Chitauri can absorb those emotions.
咁其實咧，佢捉啲人類嚟做乜嘢咧？因為呢啲 Chitauri 咧，其實係吸緊人類一啲能量嘅，或者係啲情緒嘅。即係當人類係好亢奮，譬如係無論係性方面啦，或者係戰爭啦，或者係一啲好殘暴嘅經歷嘅時候咧，咁人類自然就會發生一啲好極端嘅情緒啦。而 Chitauri 咧，佢就係中意吸食啲人類呢啲咁嘅情緒或者 energy 啦。佢覺得咁樣係即係好中意呢啲能量嘅，係啦。Furthermore, if I want to separate the extraordinary people from human beings, does DNA test work?
No. Humans are not able to understand DNA energetically.
咁阿 Neil 就話答咗，即係頭先呢位聽眾就話咧，可唔可以分翻開人類同埋即係人個 DNA work 唔 work 嘅咧？咁但係阿 Neil 就話其實係唔 work 嘅，因為人類仲未明白DNA 點樣 work 嘅，即係除咗係真係實實在個基因之外咧，仲有係關能量事嘅，所以 something about energy. It's not only the physical or biological DNA.
That's right, and you'd have difficulty for any doctor or scientist to explain to them that there are energetics, that there's spirit world, that there's a matrix world, and that we're just nothing in the matrix. You know, we're just small percentage of reality, physicality. And physicality is hollow. So what is really here?
咁嗱即係我諗再講多少少咧，就係話你喺生物學上啦，咁譬如 DNA 就係話我點樣去 manipulate 或者點樣操控啦，改變個 DNA。咁但係呢啲所講嘅就係一個靈性上啊，所以就有帶入個 energy 啦。咁頭先個 case 見到咧就係話，譬如頭先有個女仔話俾人捉咗，跟住變咗見到自己嘅身體係變咗蜥蜴人。咁其實唔係關佢嗰個生物學嘅 DNA 事嘅，而係因為個 energy 即係蜥蜴人嘅 energy 去令到佢嗰個身體物理嘅身體都會改變嘅。咁所以 DNA 係咁樣嘅一回事嘅，就係話你唔係淨係改變個 DNA 就可以令到話人類唔變，或者係令到佢點樣改，仲有好多係 spiritual world 喺呢個靈性世界上都係影響緊個 DNA 嘅。
So Credo Mutwa once again was talking about being in an underground cave with these reptilians operating deep under the ground.
咁啊 Credo Mutwa 亦都再講啦，呢一啲蜥蜴人咧係喺地底嗰度生活緊啊。
He saw them growing embryos, just like you see in the Dulce base in America, where the greys underground are growing embryos.
佢話見到喺地底嗰度係即係生長培植緊嗰啲胚胎啊，好似杜西基地嗰啲情況咁樣。
Now, what actually happened after many abductions, Credo noticed many other people on these gurneys, on these steel tables.
佢話俾人捉咗咁多次之後咧，慢慢咧就發現唔係淨係佢一個嘅，仲有其他人俾人捉嘅。
And he saw some white people too.
咁佢見到啲白種人咧都係俾人捉咗。
And one day, Credo was in town, and there was this policeman standing there. And Credo went up to the policeman and he said, I know you from somewhere, but I can't remember where.
咁有一日咧，喺個市鎮嗰度啦，咁阿妹華咧就行過，見到一個差即係個警察啦，跟住佢就走上去就話：其實我好似識你㗎，但我又講唔出喺邊度見過你。
And suddenly Credo remembered. He was one of the white men on the table underground with the reptilians.
咁佢突然間醒起咧，原來呢個 警察咧就係當時佢俾人捉咗上去喺即係嗰啲金屬床嗰度，見到隔離嗰個人嚟嘅。
And the policeman said, "No, I don't know you. I've never seen you before." And Credo said, "You were underground with me with reptilians on the table. I saw you." And the policeman freaked out. He remembered.
咁啊，嗰個警察就話：我冇見過你嘅喎，冇咁嘅事啦。咁啊 Credo 就話：唔係喎，你嗰陣係同我一齊喺地底嗰度，係俾啲蜥蜴人捉走咗嘅喎。咁嗰個警察就突然間好驚，佢真係記得翻啲嘢啦。
All right, so we go to the next slide.
So which species is the Chitauri? Is it
It's
it's not Drago, right?
It's not Draco.
It's not winged
It'll
Drago.
just be a subspecies of one of the other maybe the hooded or the other one. You know, they're just so many subspecies. You've got Draco, and you've got Mothman, and subspecies. And you've got the other type of non-winged Draco, and then you've got subspecies, and so it goes down. So there's many subspecies. Many.
咁我頭先就問，其實呢一個 Chitauri 係又唔係天龍人啊，因為佢冇翼噶嘛。咁佢係邊一種咧？咁阿 Neil 就話其實係好多副嘅，即係唔同嘅種族嘅。即係佢雖然唔係 Drago，但係佢可能係其他嘅蜥蜴人嘅種族嘅，好多種嘅。So actually we can't distinguish whether they are using the word kind or...
Oh, I see over there.
Yeah.
Okay, no, you have to understand one thing. Human beings, there's something called anthropomorphism. Okay, now what is anthropomorphism? We like to take a duck and then we make it have a hat and clothes and we make a film, we call him Donald Duck. And we get a mouse and we put a hat on him and we say Mickey Mouse. Okay? It's the same with your question. You get a reptilian. You can't change what they are. You can't put a hat on him and say, is he friendly? We don't know what friendly means. Do we know what friendly... You have to understand, these are not human. They are not human. You must understand. They are not human. They don't have the same feelings you have.
And it might means differently to
Differently.
them.
They may only do things that are important.
咁嗱，頭先回應翻有位聽眾就話，其實可唔可以話即係就關佢哋 friendly 啦對人類。咁但係阿 Neil 就解釋譬如我哋捉隻鴨，跟住加頂帽啊，加啲衫落去，咁我哋叫佢做 Donald Duck 啊，或者係老鼠咁，我叫 Mickey Mouse 啊咁樣。咁其實係我哋唔可以點樣去界定係所謂對我哋友唔友善嘅，因為呢個係嗰啲外星人或者嗰個種族佢個本質係咁樣，咁佢哋個感情亦都同我哋唔同嘅，即係譬如我哋人類係有所謂善惡係有界定啦，或者我哋有好多唔同嘅解釋咧，你點樣為之善，咩為之惡？咁但係對於外星人嘅嚟喺佢個字典或者喺佢嘅世界，佢可能冇呢樣嘢，佢淨係想做呢件事嘅啫。即係譬如佢捉你咁。佢可能係想製造一啲混種嘅，
佢個目的
就係想製造混種啦。咁佢未必會顧及你嘅感受，話我會好驚嘅喎。如果你咁樣捉咗我，又嚇我，又咁樣抽我啲精液，佢未必會即係顧及你個感受。總之佢目的就係咁樣咯。
唔會，亦都唔會知你嘅
係啦，佢唔會知道你嘅感受。係啦。
I can ask the question the other way. Are humans friendly? If you ask my dog, are humans friendly? My dog will say yes. If you ask a dog in Vietnam or Thailand, he'll say no because the humans eat me.
咁即係調翻轉頭問，即係譬如問翻我哋人類究竟係咪友善呢？咁譬如如果問阿 Neil 佢養嘅狗仔，咁狗仔梗覺得人類好友善啦。咁但係如果你問越南啊或者泰國呢啲國家佢啲野狗嘅，咁你覺得人類有冇友善啊？咁佢哋覺得唔友善喎，因為啲人會捉佢嚟食噶嘛。咁所以係唔可以用一個單一事件去講或者友唔友善呢個。We can't define what is friendly, what is kind from
You
this
can't.
incident.
And you see now, we go to the next slide. this is an encounter with the reptilian.
同埋咧，我之前咧。
Change the slide.
之前我見過啲 case 咧，there is another case I read that the reptilian explained why or a human asked the reptilian why are you aggressive to humans, and then the reptilian explained that I'm not aggressive, I'm just because they are on our way, so
Yeah.
I just push him away because I need to fly the craft, or I need to do something, and they're on our way, so I'll push him. It's not aggressive. I just
They
There's
empirical.
purpose.
They do what they have to do. They do what they have to do. They have to go from here to there. They'll go. You in the way. Oh, I've got to go there.
yeah. 咁我頭先解釋翻，因為我又睇過啲話同即係蜥蜴人訪問啦，就係話有人就問佢喂，我覺得你好 aggressive 喎，即係好霸道啊，或者好嗰個態度好差喎，對我哋人類。咁佢話其實我唔係差，只不過係我要飛個飛碟，咁但係佢阻住我嘛，咁我咪擁佢咯。咁佢話個人類就會問，哇 that is aggressive，即係咁樣係好冇禮貌，或者對佢係我一個好粗暴嘅對待嚟嘅。咁但係對於蜥蜴人嚟講，佢個目的就要達到係咁樣，我要行直線，咁你阻住我，我咪擁走你咯，即係咁簡單咯，係啊。
So the interview with the reptilian Lacerta, this is what I believe to be a true story. When the reptilian appeared to this girl who was doing some study, and the reptilian appeared in human form, so she saw it as human.
咁咧呢個 Lacerta 嘅訪問咧，其實都大家可能有機會聽過。咁阿 Neil 就覺得其實應該係一個真實故仔嚟嘅，因為當時 Lacerta 咧係以一個人類女性嘅身份咧去顯現俾呢個受訪者知嘅。
So Lacerta said, I am a reptilian. And she said, well, I can see you as a human. And then Lacerta said, well, I can make your mind see me as I am. So that was some kind of kindness.
嗱咁Lacerta 就同呢個即係訪問佢嘅人講啦，其實我係蜥蜴人嚟嘅咁嗰陣就話唔係喎，我見到你係一個人類嘅樣咯咁阿 Lacerta 就話其實係因為我可以擺嗰個人類嘅影像擺喺你個腦嗰度，而其實我係蜥蜴人嚟嘅，咁佢就顯現咗佢自己蜥蜴人嘅樣俾呢個人睇，咁其實呢個係表現一個善意嚟嘅。
And Lacerta explained that they can influence humans, but they can't change what a camera sees.
咁佢話佢係可以影響到人腦啦，咁但係佢就呢啲蜥蜴人咧就唔可以影響到菲林啊或者係相機嘅。
Now, she also demonstrated to the girl their ability to levitate. So the girl was sitting down and Lacerta levitated her pencil up and then it turned around like that and then put it back again.
咁Lacerta 咧呢個蜥蜴人咧就表現俾呢個女仔睇咧，佢係有呢個即係精神能量咧，可以令到啲嘢漂浮嘅。咁佢就即時咧就浮喺嗰支鉛筆啦，跟住仲可以轉又擺翻落佢個台面度添。
And Lacerta also confirmed that they live underground in these huge caverns, big open areas, and some of them have artificial suns where it's hot. The reptilians need heat.
咁Lacerta 咧就話佢哋係地球嘅原住民啦，佢哋亦都係生活喺地下嘅大嘅洞穴度嘅。咁有啲洞穴咧仲係有太陽嘅，即係佢哋做出嚟嘅太陽好熱嘅，因為即係你知蜥蜴係冷血動物嚟嘅，咁佢哋需要熱能啦去暖翻佢身體啦，咁所以佢哋有啲好熱嘅太陽喺個地底嗰度嘅。
And of course, Lacerta once again confirmed that the motivations of some of the reptilians are to take copper from the planet or metals, and for others, it's the use of humans for genetic engineering.
咁Lacerta 咧就話有啲蜥蜴人咧係嚟想攞銅啊或者其他啲即係 material 啊咁樣嘅，即係地球嘅原材料啦。咁而有一啲嘅物種咧就會對人類好有興趣啦，會愛嚟做基因研究啊或者改造啊咁樣。
Okay, change the slide.
There is an audience asking if the aliens or the extraterrestrial will come forward when nuclear war comes.
The extraterrestrials are interfering with anything nuclear. If there's a ship, military ship with nuclear reactors on board powering the ship, they will interfere with the ship to show that they don't
Don't
approve.
like it. Yeah.
The same with the missiles. They'll start the missile countdown and they'll cut them off. Okay?
So they
So-
won't let nuclear war happen.
Well, this is a question of what you believe. Personally, I think that they would allow a limited nuclear war because
that's a choice of human.
they'll only get involved if it destroys the planet, which it would do. And they are responsible for the planet. They look after the planet. Believe it or not, they are actually concerned about the planet. We are destroying it. This is one of the things they don't like.
咁回應翻頭先個問題咧，就係話會唔會外星人就出現呢？即係如果有核戰嘅時候，咁 Neil 就話咧，其實任何有關核嘅嘢咧，佢哋都會即係會阻止啊，或者會插手嘅，會干涉嘅。譬如話有啲航空母艦啊，或者係有啲反應堆啊咁，即係有關涉及到核能嘅嘢咧，或者核嘅嘢咧，佢哋都會出現啦，即係表達佢哋其實唔中意呢啲嘢嘅。咁譬如一啲核彈啊咁樣，咁佢都會即係出手干涉嘅，因為阿 Neil 就話其實係關於即係你睇點樣睇啦，或者你點樣相信啦。佢覺得佢啲即係人可能會容許某程度嘅核能啦，或者係所謂嘅戰爭啦。咁但係就唔可以容許你哋人類做到摧毀到地球嘅程度嘅，因為即係無論大家相信到都好啦，其實就覺得呢啲蜥蜴人咧先至係地球嘅守護者嘅，佢哋係真係覺得自己係對於呢個地球係負責任嘅，咁所以佢哋會阻止任何有機會摧毀呢個地球嘅事發生。
Okay, so one of the other things she mentioned, Aserta, is if you go climbing mountains or you go into deserted places and you see a metal door or you go into a cave, don't open it.
咁係有一個好嚴厲嘅警告嘅 from 阿 Laserta， 佢就話無論可能你爬山又好，或者去地底啊，或者啲洞穴又好，你見到一啲金屬門呢，千祈唔好嘗試打開佢。
All right, let's go to the next slide. This is the story of Sherry Hinkle. I'm sure many of you may have seen her on Facebook. She's an elderly lady, and she's had experience with reptilians.
咁啊，
Now,
位 Cherry Hinkle 啊，咁可能大家有見過佢樣，一陣間有個 slide 會見到嘅。咁佢就係有遇過有關呢啲 Reptilian 啊，呢啲蜥蜴人啊，同埋金屬門嘅故事嘅。
Two of her boys were exploring in the mountains in Las Vegas, which in Nevada, which is not that far from Las Vegas, the Black Mountains.
咁咧呢個地方咧其實係叫 Black Mountains 啦，係喺內華達州離拉斯維加斯唔係好遠嘅啫。咁就有兩個小朋友啦，個男仔啦，就去啲洞穴嗰度探險。
And they went into the cave, and you can see a picture there of the actual picture of the actual cave they went into. And they went down and they could hear noises, strange noises coming from behind the walls of the cave.
咁咧，你見到幅相啦，下邊啦右下角嗰張咧，其實係真實係就係呢個洞穴啦。咁佢哋走咗入去呢個洞穴嗰度咧，就聽到一啲有啲機器聲啊咁樣。
And they found down there a metal rod, which we call a wand. You see in many of the old English fairy tales, the fairy has a wand, she shakes the wand and does magic. It's a wand, a metal wand with engraving. They found it on the floor.
咁 咁咧佢就見到有個金屬門啦，咁喺個地下嗰度咧就有一尺左右嘅金屬棒啊。咁阿 Neil 就形容係咪好似啲啲仙子啊？我哋睇到啲啲童話故事咧，咪話仙子攞住一支棍喺度有啲魔術咁樣發生，咁好似嗰支咁樣，咁但係上邊咧就有啲唔同嘅刻紋喺度嘅。
So they banged on the door, and they banged, and then they heard something coming towards the door, and it growled. It made a growling noise.
哇！呢個其實好驚人驚，因為咧喺個洞入邊咧，咁啊見到呢個咁嘅金屬門啦，咁啲僆仔就唔識死啦，咁就拍下門啦，跟住拍下拍咧，就聽到門後邊咧開始有啲即係咆哮嘅聲啊，同埋好似有啲嘢越嚟越接近到門喎。
So they actually got afraid, and they started to run, and the door opened, and out came this big green reptilian, trying to get out of the hole there.
咁啊，你見到嗰幅相咧，就係真係嗰個洞嚟嘅個洞口啊。咁佢哋就好驚啦，即係聽到門後邊有啲咁嘅咆哮聲，咁就走啦跑啊。跟住咧望翻轉頭咧，就發覺有一隻好大型嘅綠色咁嘅人形嘅，即係嗰啲蜥蜴人嚟啦。咁就跑出嚟咧，會追佢哋咁喎。同埋咧就因為好大隻，就好似喺度擠緊個身逼出嚟啦，係追佢哋啊。
So Sherry said to them, she saw that one of them was holding the wand, and she realized what it was, and she said to them, just leave the wand outside. And she looked out the window, and the reptilian was looking in through the window, and the window was 6 feet above the ground, so the reptilian must have been 8 feet.
嗱，其實咧，即係中間咧，佢跑到翻屋企啦，咁就同Cherry Hinkle 係佢哋媽媽嚟嘅，其實，咁佢就話即係叫阿媽就話做咩事啊？你咁驚啊？見到佢揸住支棒啊咁樣，跟住佢就話出邊有個男人啊追我哋啊咁樣，咁佢話咩男人啊？咁佢就話其實佢蜥蜴好似個樣好似蜥蜴咁樣噶，佢又唔着衫，好恐怖啊！淨係有條 bell 㗎咋咁樣，咁跟住嗰晚咧係頭先阿 Neil 佢就話佢係話即係佢個仔就話見到窗外面有人想入嚟，咁咧就問清楚係即係咩咁，佢就攞個電筒去睇啦，就見到原來窗出邊咧有隻手有個人影咁樣，好似想走入嚟咁樣，而佢個身體咧就即係個頭啊有啲刺啊咁樣，好似蜥蜴咁樣。跟住背脊又有啊，同埋隻手係好大隻，有好多肌肉，即係見到啲肌肉咁樣。就好似想走入嚟咁啊。其實佢嗰個窗同地下離地咧有成7尺嘅，咁即係話呢個生物係有成7-8尺咁高啊。
So she basically told them to leave the wand outside the door, close the door. And she knew that that's why the reptilian chased them. He wanted to get this wand back. And once the reptilian got the wand and took it away, it never came back again.
咁咧因為嗰兩個僆仔係帶咗支嗰啲 magic wand 啊，嗰支魔法棒咁樣翻屋企啦。咁啊媽媽見到咧就懷疑係咪即係攞咗人哋啲嘢，咁所以佢就即刻係揸車就將嗰個魔法棒啦，就擺翻喺嗰個即係洞穴附近嘅，咁跟住就梗係嗱嗱聲走啦。咁從此之後咧就冇再發生啲任何古怪事啦。嗰個蜥蜴人亦都冇再出現啦。
And you can see she's made a model of the reptilian. She had it specially made because she remembered very clearly what it looked like.
咁呢個就係佢做出嚟嘅個像嚟嘅，就因為佢好清楚記得呢個即係人係點樣嘅。
So this underground area was very, very close to a US military base. Just so you know that.
咁其實呢個即係洞穴嗰個位置咧，其實係非常之近美國個軍方嘅基地嘅。
Next slide. Now this is from a newspaper report on the right-hand side. This near a swamp in the South Carolinas, a young man was in his car, and the car got attacked by a creature It looked like a reptile with big claws. And that's actual photographs taken by the police of the car. The claws went straight through that bonnet of the car, and you can see the scratch marks on it.
咁你見到張相咧，即係見到架車有晒啲窿啊，同埋啲刮痕啊，其實係因為喺南卡羅來納州嗰度有一個沼澤啦，咁係有個年輕人佢架車係被襲擊嘅，咁呢啲相係真實嘅相嚟嘅，係當地嘅警察咧影咗咧，就見到好多刮痕啦，同埋係即係爪穿咗架車嘅。
Okay.
So imagine it must be huge and very muscular.
How do you put your hands through the,
metal.
you know?
Yes, and all the scratches is
Right.
scary.
So these things exist. They're just a fact. All right, so now we go to the next one.
咁阿 Neil 就其實你見到呢啲實實在在嘅相係即係話證明呢啲生物係存在嘅。
In America alone, and you can look this up now on your computer, 800,000 children go missing every year in America. Nobody talks about it. Maybe 300,000 are found, but even 300,000, let's say 500,000 people, that's only America, go missing every year. Where do they go?
嗱，咁其實大家可以上網揾嘅，而家都可以睇到嘅，就係美國，即係單係美國每一年係有80萬嘅小朋友係唔見咗嘅。咁可能某部分係會揾得翻嘅，咁但係咁大量嘅小朋友其實係唔見咗去邊呢？ Well, some will say will it be human trafficking?
Okay, from the 800,000, let's say half are human trafficking and found. Where's the other 400,000? This is only America. What about India? What about Europe, Germany, France? All have big numbers. On the planet, they're huge.
And why children?
Why children? That's another story we go into another time.
係啦，咁我就問係咪因為即係人口販賣嘅問題咧？咁我就話嗱，你當佢 cut 一半啦，即係一半係人口販賣啦，咁或者揾到啦，咁另外嗰半又去咗邊呢？咁同埋呢個唔係淨係即係美國嘅情況啊嘛，美國報咗80萬啫，咁其他國家呢，印度啊，即係越南啊，或者好多歐洲啊呢啲國家呢，咁即究竟係去咗邊呢？咁另外個問題就係咁點解係小朋友呢？咁啊可以遲啲再講啦。
So you can tell the people they can look on their own Google and check. Put missing children in and you can check.
呢啲資料係公開嘅，即係大家可以上網揾啊，即係 Child Watch 或者係 Missing Children 就揾到呢啲數字出嚟嘅。
There's hundreds of sites that will tell you. Hundreds of sites.
就好多網站可以見到。Okay, someone asked, what should we do, say and react if we are meeting with extraterrestrials? 即係我哋如果見到一啲外星人嘅話，咁我哋可以做啲咩，或者我哋應該點樣去俾反應咧？What should we do?
Okay.
Is there something we can control?
Yeah. If you have an encounter that you didn't expect, and you can keep your stability, you say, I am a sovereign person. Do not come closer to me than 10 feet.
A sovereign person, that means I am
independent, powerful, I'm myself. Do not come closer than 10 feet and we can talk.
嗱，阿 Neil 就話如果啊，當一刻啊，即係嗱，頭先位聽眾就問如果我哋遇到外星人嘅時候，咁我哋應該俾咩反應咧？講啲咩或者點樣做咧？咁阿 Neil 就 suggest 佢嘅建議就係嗱，如果你當時係可以保持鎮定嘅話，咁你要同佢講或者你個念啦我係一個獨立嘅人嚟嘅，我係一個自主嘅人嚟嘅。請你同我保持實際嘅距離，你先好再同我講嘢。
Mostly these encounters are positive. Mostly.
大部分嘅即係遇到外星人咧，都係正面嘅。
Okay. So the next slide.
So if you speak something like that, they will respect.
They should. If they're positive, they should. If not, nothing you can do anyway.
I have a question. 我想問翻呢，頭先講就係話啲人會俾人攞咗落地底嘅金屬床啦，跟住呢，但係好似阿警察咁呢，佢係之後唔記得咗嘅，係咪多數人都會唔記得
？So for the case just now with Credo Mutwa, he met the policeman and that, but then he can't recall what happened or not at that moment. So is it something common for abductees that they sometimes will lose the memory?
Yes, and what happens is sometimes it needs a trigger. Sometimes it can be on the surface, just somebody can remind you, you remember something. What normally happens is, if it's on the surface, you remember something, but then you are suddenly engulfed in fear because you haven't got the whole story and you start to panic.
So you prefer not to remember the thing?
You probably prefer not to
recall.
That's why they use hypnotherapy. They regress them using hypnosis to calm them down and then talk to them and then bring it out.
係啦，咁回應翻咧就係話其實係真嘅，有啲人俾人老鬼完係真係會唔記得嘅。咁所以需要有一啲 trigger point 啦，即係好似頭先阿 Mutwa 咁樣，佢真係提一提佢講翻，咁可能有啲提示佢就會諗翻起啦。咁同埋有時即使係你記得有啲嘢，但係因為好驚，咁你會寧願我都係唔去諗呢件事，或者我寧願即係好似啲 trauma 嗰個傷害咁樣 PTSD 咁。我寧願唔記起嗰件嘢，咁係啦，咁所以咧就需要可能催眠嘅過程啦，咁啊帶翻係件事，令到佢覺得即係個好平靜嘅狀態之下，咁先至有個回溯諗翻起咯。
All right, so now we're going to talk about the case of Melinda Leslie. We will show you a film. Melinda Leslie is what we call a MyLab victim. That's a military abduction.
Melinda Leslie 咧，其實就係其中一個經歷咗被軍事擄拐嘅受害者嚟嘅。咁我哋轉頭會播片俾大家睇睇。
Melinda, a MyLab victim, is somebody who is a contactee who's abducted by good extraterrestrials, is then re-abducted by the military.
咁佢個經歷就係佢係俾一啲好嘅或者係正面嘅外星人咧，去有接觸過嘅。咁但係之後咧就俾軍方用一個所謂叫軍方軍事擄拐啦，咁就去捉走嘅。
And what the military are doing, they're trying to find out what technology the abductee has learned.
咁其實軍方係想透過呢啲被擄拐者啦，去揾出究竟佢之前同外星人接觸嘅時候學咗啲咩科技呢？
These are very, very, very black, deep, hidden projects in the military, in the US.
咁呢啲嘅計劃啦，其實係非常之黑暗啦，同埋收得好埋、好深層嘅美國嘅項目嚟嘅。
They're so secretive, these groups. I have met one of them, and they totally deny being part of this program, even though Melinda went up to him and pointed him out.
呢個係好即係好受得好密嘅呢個秘密，係即使係真係遇到一個，而 Melinda 係直接上前指證係話我當時係見到你，佢都係矢口否認嘅。
So they take you in these military abductions, and the military are in cooperation with some of these reptilians that live underground, and their bases join with some of these caverns, the military bases.
呢啲軍事擄拐咧，其實係佢嗰個基地係同即係人係相連嘅，即係佢哋嗰個洞穴。咁佢哋係有一個合作計劃去做呢啲事嘅。
And we'll play the video now because you'll see Melinda will recount the story where she's abducted, she's taken underground, and she will explain everything to you. This is an interview I did with her. 好，
大家睇下呢個係阿 Neil 同阿 Melinda Leslie 做嘅訪問嚟嘅。
He opens the door and in walks this large reptilian alien. Big guy, like 7 feet tall, like a football linebacker, broad shoulders, but covered in scales, had a crest on his head, had reptilian eyes that were yellow with the vertical slit, had a kind of a snout, not real long, but you know, like even snakes have a like a snake snout, like that. Scales. He made this weird noise, like this weird, like purring, growling noise. Next thing I know is I think I'm being raped and pulled apart by him. First brutally raped, and then he has these black fingernails, black nails, and he slices my face open, slices me open here, guts are coming out, I'm bleeding, takes this arm off, rips it out of its socket. I see him pull it out of its socket, and I'm screaming. I think I've just been raped and brutally murdered. So something about the sound he made and being in my face projected this image that I was being brutally raped and murdered. And at that point I was able to break whatever that image was, and he backed off. And he stands there looking at me, and he kind of goes like that, kind of. It was really weird, like he had wanted to do that and he was disappointed that whatever. It was very scary. He backs off and goes out. The other guy comes in and says, if you don't stop talking about this, next time we will let him do what he wanted to.
哇，其實好得人驚喎！即係如果佢即係就算係假都好啦，你有咁嘅影像，
經歷咗啊嘛，係啊，
好似真嘅一樣嘢，so scary. Even if it's just image, it's a trauma, it's deep trauma to
After
Melinda.
that interview, she stood up, I let go of her, and she collapsed on the bed. And we had to say, Linda, you're okay. She said, I'm sorry. It comes back to me, and I'm sorry. And she tried to stand up, and we gave her water. And then she said, look, I did it for you guys, which we appreciated. And then she got up and she walked up. But there you can see, well, you can translate that first.
Yeah, 嗱，即係我頭先就問，就算只係啲影像都好啦，其實對於阿 Melinda Leslie 嚟講係一個好大嘅創傷嚟嘅。即使係你見到佢即係話俾人強姦啊，或者係啲手腳俾人搣咗，就係其實好得人驚。咁阿 Neil 就話其實。所以當時佢做完呢個 interview 之後呢，係同佢有個擁抱之後呢 Melinda 係突然間崩潰咗，成個人瞓低咗喺張床喺地下嘅。咁即係大家都即係扶翻起佢啦。咁佢都一直講啊 sorry， 我真係為咗你哋，所以先至做呢個 interview 嘅啫。因為佢睇呢件事，所有嘢都翻嚟。It's so scary.
So what you saw there was the reptilians putting this into her mind. She thought she was being torn open and raped, but it was a mental projection from the reptilian.
咁嗱，你見到咧，佢解釋翻咧，當然唔係真實扯走佢啲手腳啦，因為佢真係完整係冇事嘅。咁但係你見到係嗰啲蜥蜴人係可以影響佢嗰個思想，同埋令到佢有咁樣嘅感受同埋咁嘅影像。
亦都係咪有啲似一啲好真實嘅噩夢？好恐怖，好真實嘅噩夢。Is it
like real nightmare? Sometimes when nightmare or
you can't tell the difference. You can't tell the difference when it's happening.
即係當你發生嘅時候，其實你講唔到係真定假㗎。
It's very frightening because she's taken on her own, and this kind of thing happens. She's a very interesting lady. We can actually bring her onto the show one day. It's no problem. She'd be happy to talk to you all.
So that proves that the reptilians is working with the military.
It proves that there is some reptilians working with the military, and there's technology transfers between them, and these are deep black projects out of the oversight of the American government, just completely unseen by them.
咁所以Melinda Leslie 嘅遭遇咧，亦都證明咗其實同即係呢啲蜥蜴人同軍方係實在係真係有合作嘅，即係某一啲蜥蜴人啊，咁同埋佢哋可能都有啲科技嘅交換啊嘅計劃啦。咁呢啲係即係美國政府都即係冇講到嘅。So, the officer mentioned that she stopped. She can't continue to talk about this. What does that refer to this?
this experience. When you leave here, you do not talk to anybody about it. Which she did, because she pointed. I know who the guy is. I know who the guy is because I was there when she pointed him out. And she pointed to him and she said, "You were there. You're the guy." And he denied it because he's quite well known. If you knew who he was, for those people who understand the field, you'd be surprised, because he basically only talks about non-violence and non-violent things, you know. But he was one of them. I mean, I know exactly who. I have pictures of him. He was part of the project.
咁啊嗱當時頭先條片咪講咗咧，嗰個人係警告啊 Melinda Leslie 係唔可以講件事啦。咁就問翻阿 Neil，其實佢話邊一件事咧？咁其實係話阿 Melinda Leslie 唔可以再提佢喺即係俾人老拐咗，跟住受到嘅傷害，咁佢唔可以講出嚟嘅。咁而呢個人咧係真實存在啦，同埋係一個。喺個圈內係比較出名嘅。咁阿 Melinda 當時係指證佢嘅時候咧，佢係矢口否認啦，同埋係好大影響，因為呢一個人喺公開場合或者佢做到個形象係都係係主要去宣揚一啲非non-violent 即係唔暴力嘅事嘅但係原來私底下係同呢啲蜥蜴人做呢啲咁可怕嘅勾當啦。
Now, if you guys remember the case of Jim Sparks, I've done shows on this before. Jim Sparks was abducted by the Greys. We brought him to Hong Kong. He did a presentation in front of many people. And one of the things that happened on one occasion with Jim Sparks is he was abducted and brought to a fun fair.
Jim Sparks 咧，其實係經歷咗好多次嘅即係被老拐嘅。咁佢都係見到係啲小婦人去老拐佢啦。咁佢話有一次經歷就係俾人老拐咗去到嗰個 fun fair 喺啲嘉年華咁嘅場地嘅。
So you can see my interview with Jim Sparks if you go to my Facebook site, Exopolitics Hong Kong. You can see my interview. I will put it there when I get home tonight. I will put it up, but it's on YouTube. Now, Jim, when he was put down at this fun fair, it was at night time. The fun fair was empty.
咁呢個 interview 其實Neil 有之前做過嘅，咁可以擺翻上 Exopolitics 個 Facebook page 啦，咁大家可以再到時睇下啦。今晚咁當時咧嗰個嘉年華咧係夜晚黑時間冇人嘅。
And when he looked around, when he recovered, when he stood up, he saw he was surrounded by reptilians, but they all had a mask on their face of a human face. But of course the bodies was reptilian, the heads, they were big, but they had human faces.
咁咧喺個嘉年華入邊咧，佢就見到好多啲蜥蜴人圍繞住佢啊。咁但係啲蜥蜴人咧係戴住人嘅面具嘅，只不過個身體咧依然係蜥蜴人咁樣嘅，即係都好大隻啊，又有啲蜥蜴嘅鱗片啊咁樣。
And the reptilians said to Jim Sparks, "We're putting these faces on so we don't scare you."
咁佢啲蜥蜴人咧就同阿 James Sparks 講：我點解要戴住個面具？因為我費事嚇親你啦。
And why we are here today is we understand that your black projects have gone so far and eventually everybody is going to know about it.
咁啲蜥蜴人咧就同佢講點解我要嚟即係同你講嘢咧？其實就因為知道呢啲暗黑嘅項目啦、嘅計劃啦，係進行到邊個程度？咁所以我希望係同你講翻呢件事嘅。
And the reptilian said to him, "What we suggest you do is you please go to your military and pass them a message."
咁所以就我哋建議你，不如就去同一啲軍方幫我哋轉達一個信息。
And ask them to give amnesty, forgiveness for everything that has been done, and then it is easier to bring everything out for you people.
呢件事之前 加拿大個前國防部嘅部長都有提到Jimmy Sparks 呢個對話呢個咁嘅講法嘅，就係話即係雖然可能軍方做咗好多呢啲咁可怕嘅事啦，咁佢係呼籲我哋人類啦、其他人啦、公眾啦係有個赦免嘅特赦嘅意思，即係你哋要原諒呢啲軍方或者之前做過嘅所有呢啲咁邪惡啊，或者黑暗啊，或者傷害嘅計劃，因為你只有咁樣做，咁先至可以容許到佢哋做出一啲披露，講翻 UFO 嘅事 ，to make disclosure to the public.
To help with the disclosure. This is obviously a very positive, progressive form of reptilian.
因為只有你原諒咗，放低件事，唔再執着於軍方之前做過嘅事，咁先至可以幫到嚟緊一啲資料點樣去公開俾大家知道嘅。
Okay, so we go to the next slide. I'm sure many of you have heard of Dr. Rebecca Hardcastle. She is the founder of the Institute for Exo-Consciousness.
嗱，呢個係Dr. Rebecca Hardcastle 啦，咁佢係創立 Exo-Consciousness 嘅人嚟嘅。
Now, Dr. Rebecca Hardcastle has had many encounters with reptilians, and she has been often gone underground, possibly in a mind form, in an outer body.
咁咧，佢有好多嘅經歷嘅，即係好多接觸啦。咁亦都係有去到佢地底嗰度見過。So she's encountered with reptilians.
Yes.
佢都有唔同嘅經歷咧，係同啲蜥蜴人咁樣去即係見面，
And
遭遇過見到佢哋。
she has a very positive attitude towards reptilians because she understands that they represent an awakening.
So 咁咧對於Dr. Hardcastle 嚟講咧，啲蜥蜴人咧對佢嚟講嗰個係好正面嘅個態度啊，或者感覺都好正面嘅，係代表覺醒啊、醒覺或者知識啊 knowledge and positive awakening.
Positive awakening, because she recognizes that they are actually the guardians of the planet.
係啦，咁因為咧Rebecca 咧佢覺得呢啲蜥蜴人咧係地球嘅守護者嚟嘅，咁所以佢係好正面嘅個感覺對於佢哋嚟。
So the state of the planet, the oil spills and the burning of the forests, these are things that the reptilians are very concerned about.
即係譬如啲石油嘅泄漏啊，或者對於地球嘅任何嘅災害啊，咁其實啲蜥蜴人係好注重呢啲話題嘅呢啲事件。
So you know many of the members of these Illuminati and many of these bloodlines and secret government high-up people, they all have huge estates of land, okay? And they are very, very concerned about the sustainability of the planet and looking after the planet. These are the bloodlines. They are all part of this reptilian bloodline. They care for the planet. Even though they're the Illuminati, even though they're the secret government, whatever, they have this deep care for the planet.
嗱，咁所以咧，Rebecca 咧就認為咧，即係雖然背後嘅秘密政府啦，或者係光明會啊呢啲咁啦，其實佢哋係對於個地球係好關心嘅。即使呢啲秘密政府啊，或者背後嘅人咧，擁有好多地啊，但係佢哋係真真正正為地球着想嘅。
So
the bloodlines means royal family as well?
The bloodlines, these are the bloodlines, the Illuminati, they're all in the same kind of, they evolved from the Sumerian times when the priests were given privileges. And underneath it were the masses doing all the mining, the priests, the kings, the royalty, the Illuminati, they're all part of that bloodline. They have the high reptilian energy.
And in Rebecca's view that they are the protectors of Earth, but they're not doing harm the
They
other way
w-
around.
It's the other way around. They're trying to preserve, even though they're horrible people, even though they exploit everybody and whatever, they are still, looking after the planet.
嗱呢個都幾有趣，因為即係喺Rebecca 個諗法咧，就係雖然啦，佢哋可能對於人類啊公眾嚟講咧係即係剝削緊人類啦，咁但係實際佢哋係好關心呢個地球嘅，佢哋都係為呢個地球啊着想嘅。
But one of the questions I want to ask Neil,
Yeah.
because as far as I know, the Illuminati and also the Freemasons control all the resources of the entire planet Earth, right? Like the money, like the resources, like gas, energy, something like that. This is a really curious question that I want to ask. Do they really good to our planet Earth?
Well, they're not. The end result is they're not, because remember, at the end of the day, these Illuminati are partly human.
Oh,
They're
okay.
mainly human.
Okay.
So there is still this human aspect, but in the main, they do the big national parks. They big farm. They do put lots of money into sustainability and on the planet. But
Like-
there is this greed of the human.
I see,
in
I
them.
see. Like the Rothschild family,
Yeah.
like the Rockefeller family,
Exactly.
right?
They're
All right.
ruthless.
Yes,
They're
yes.
still ruthless, but
Exactly,
they are.
exactly.
It's yin and yang. On the one hand, they like that, and the other hand, they
Understood.
do care for the planet. But the reptilians are the ones who are really caring for the planet. But humans have been a
that's
failure.
OK，
Humans have been a
好啦
failure.
咁而家大家好清楚啦嚇。好，阿 Jenny
嗱，
麻煩
咁
你。
解釋下，因為咧呢啲家族啦，或者係光明會啊，咁其實佢哋係擁有地球好多資源嘅，或者係佢哋獨攬咗呢啲資源啦。咁係咪真係對於地球係嘅善意咧？咁啊，台長有咁問。咁阿 Neil 就解釋話，其實有好多即係可持續發展嘅事，佢哋確實係有做到嘅。咁但係始終呢一班係人類嚟噶嘛？佢哋始終係有人類嘅貪念啦、慾念啦，或者係殘暴啊嗰個喺嗰個係 character 喺度嘅。咁所以係啦，on one hand 佢哋真係擁有呢啲咁嘅資源，佢哋可能個心係真係同步係對於呢個地球係好嘅，但係唔代表佢哋冇貪念，佢哋依然有一個貪念去令到佢做出一啲可能好傷害到我哋認為好傷害到我哋大眾嘅利益嘅事嘅，而佢哋背後咧，因為佢哋始終人類啦，咁但係背後嘅蜥蜴人咧，先至真真正正關心地球嘅福祉啊，或者個發展啊咁樣。
即係正如今日如果大家聽我哋下晝嘅財金工房，我係 totally agree with 我哋嘅 Andy 講一樣嘢咧，就係而家我哋即係見到嘅 inflation rate 啦，講緊我諗呢個係 Jenny 最清楚嘅，都其實大家即係人做出嚟㗎啦，係咪？如果你冇 inflation，我點加息啊？如果我唔加息嘅話，你啲錢點入嚟啊？你啲錢唔入嚟嘅話，我點 cap 你啲水啊？係咪？呢個成個嗱好簡單3句嘢，我諗大家解釋清楚美國嗰個套路。所以點解咩叫剪羊毛？就係佢哋做呢樣嘢，而可以令到佢仲可以叫做 in control of the world resources， 即係包括埋啲熱錢啦，我哋叫做啊。呢個下話題呢，我遲啲我會邀請阿 Jenny 同我熬佢啦，我會熬佢講嘅，你聽。佢而家呢一個呢，我睇呢個人。呢個人咧，我同你講，翻咩譯啊？你真係呢個人係一個金融才女嚟嘅，唔係才俊啊，俊就死啊大鑊啊！呢個才女嚟嘅呢個，遲啲啦，遲啲我諗睇下我午夜 solo 咧都會同即係邀請下佢啦。OK，I back to the topic first. So what you mean is the reptilian is very good to the earth, right?
It cares for the earth.
They care for the earth, right?
The indigenous ones, the ones that live under the ground.
Cool. All right. OK， 好。咁啊，即係其實我頭先都問咗阿 Neil，佢就話咧，其實蜥蜴人咧就唔係好似你哋睇得咁兇殘啊、咁暴戾啊嗰樣嘢。其實話咧對個地球咧，佢哋好關心呢個地球嘅，對呢個地球好好嘅咁。All right. The last question and the first question which I did ask you at the beginning of this program is the Raw family. They are all reptilians.
They all have the reptilian energetics because they all have reptilian DNA.
哦。
So they have a greater proportion of reptilian DNA.
Okay, all
Because
right.
that's the line they came from.
All right.
So they have this. I mean, royal families in Europe also have it.
Okay.
But they're still human. It's just
They're still human because the DNA the DNA
It's just stronger
projects
than-
the human. But if you like, the force behind them decides to project something different,
All right.
then you get shape-shifting.
All right, because as far as I know, from Princess Diana diary, she wrote a statement that all the royal family are not humans. They are not humans. Even her, excuse me, even her assistant reconfirmed that this is the fact. I mean, Princess Diana exactly knew the royal family, including Prince Charles at that time. Now it's King Charles, right? The Prince Charles at that time, he is a reptilian as well.
Have you not noticed how Prince Charles is the innovator of these foundations to provide clean energy, to preserve the forests?
He's the founder.
He's the guy who's pushing
He's the
this.
innovator, right?
He's the guy
he's a
putting up these
pioneer
funds
anyway.
and
Right,
raising
right,
the
right.
money for sustainability, clean water, for getting rid of drugs and having natural health.
Okay.
This is all powerful stuff coming from King Charles.
Okay.
Very powerful stuff.
All right.
His father was the same. The Queen was the same.
Okay.
You know,
But-
it's there. They got acres and acres of land and all over the world.
I see.
So they are for the sustainability. But you see, outside of them,
Right.
you've got these big corporations where it's gone wrong. The human side is overpowering the reptilian side, and they're going for greed.
I see.
You know,
All right. Okay, please.
係啦，咁就問翻即係皇室究竟係咪蜥蜴人嚟咧？咁Neil 就解釋佢依然都係人嚟嘅，只不過佢哋蜥蜴嗰個 DNA 就比較強啲，所以佢哋嗰個 energy 咧可以令到佢哋變，即係有時都變咗樣做蜥蜴人，譬如啲眼啊咁樣變咗欖核形嘅蜥蜴嘅眼啦咁樣。咁但係你會發現King Charles 啦，咁佢係clean energy 啊，即係嗰個潔淨能源啊，同埋乾淨嘅水啊，或者係綠化，佢呢啲做咗好大，佢前線走到好前，同埋係幫手即係籌咗好多錢去真係保護呢個地球，做好多呢啲嘢嘅。
佢亦都係一個推動者，佢係個先驅者啦嚇，去做啲綠化嘢啊。
係啊，咁但係佢哋依然都係人類啦，所以就係好似頭先提到啦，佢哋依然有嗰個貪念啊，或者係人類嗰啲黑暗面啊，佢依然都有㗎，係啦。
嗰啲咁嘅嘢啦，即係其實或者阿 Neil 都有講過一樣嘢，就係因為個 man power 啊係即係個 mankind overpower 咗 reptilian， 所以 that's why 係嘛 ？Is that right？
Yeah。
所以 that's why 其實阿 Neil 就話啦，其實如果係純粹 reptilian 嘅話咧，they are doing everything good to the earth，but and the bad side is mankind is like the selfishness and everything like it's
greed
ruined.
and yes.
Yes, it's ruined everything. So okay.
if you go to the next slide,
All right, next slide.
you will see the stupidity of some of the cleverest people we know, we think are clever on our planet.
All right, view of the press and public figures. All right.
係啦，咁你見到即係公眾觀點同埋媒
最鍾意睇嘅嘢
體係啦，咁其實佢哋點樣睇外星人咧？
All right.
Next one.
Okay.
You get people like Stephen Hawking,
Hawking.
He's supposed to be very clever, brilliant,
Very
and he's
brilliant.
like saying, you know, if aliens call, don't answer.
Yes,
They're
exactly.
already here.
Exactly. The famous statement he made is, "Don't interact with the aliens."
That's right.
Is that right?
That's right. And yet the aliens are here. He can't see it, but he's supposed to be so smart.
But what's the point? He said, "Don't interact with the
Because he
aliens."
believes, like in America, in many years ago, when a superior civilization arrives and is an inferior civilization, in other words, the Columbus and all these people arrived in America, and there were the natives. Then the superior one devours and wipes out the weak one.
Oh, okay. 垃圾啊，真係。
So he thinks that if extraterrestrials come here, they're going to wipe us out. Actually, they made us.
All right.
We're an
okay.
experiment. They're trying to get us right.
Understood. All right. Okay. 好，please。
係啦，嗱咁霍金啦好出名啦，咁同埋佢都好有智慧啦，咁但係咧佢就竟然話啊，如果外星人係即係打嚟嘅時候，我哋就唔好回應啦，同埋話叫人類千祈唔好同外星人有任何嘅即係互動啦咁樣。咁其實點解咧？係因為佢哋喺即係美國嗰邊咧係好相信話如果一啲高等嘅文明咧接觸到一啲比較低等嘅文明嘅時候咧，就一定會唔好嘅結局。即係譬如話美洲原住民嗰陣啦，其實去到哥倫布咁樣最後就掠奪晒哥倫布所有嘅嘢啦。咁唔係應該調翻轉啦，係哥倫布係去掠奪晒美洲嗰啲嘢啦。
即係其實美洲嘅原住民咧，大家都知啦，即係我哋俗稱叫紅番啦即係叫紅種人啦。咁呢一個其實即係我諗遲啲有機會再可能叫阿 Neil 有交代下，譬如美國嘅崛起啊，因為你知道美國係點㗎？嗰班仆街係靠搶掠㗎嘛，你明唔明啊？即係金融又好，地方又好，
佢哋本來就係啲賊過去㗎嘛。
佢呢班係賊嚟嘅，英國佬都係賊嚟嘅，其實係啊。嗰時一次世界大戰嗰陣時，有海盜嚟㗎嘛，英國人係啱啱先 ？OK， 好 ，all right， let's
Okay, so what's the purpose of him saying this? Is it that he's not that smart, or is it deliberately?
No, I'm just saying
They're
that,
too
the
smart.
cleverest people of the world who we think are clever are brainwashed to the system. The elites put them in an education system and they go down that road. They can't see outside of it.
Exactly.
And also they would feel they'd look stupid if they
Yes.
started to say, yeah, I believe in reptilians.
True.
咁個原因咧，點解佢咪真係咁聰明嘅時候，點解佢唔知啲外星人其實已經喺地球咧？咁其實其中一個解釋就係可能佢哋已經好根深蒂固，俾呢個即係成個教育制度已經洗晒腦啦。咁所以即係喺個機制以外嘅事，包括蜥蜴人啊或者外星人呢啲話題咧，佢哋係唔會講或者唔會諗到有其他可能。佢哋都係會 stick to 大家嗰個 common 嘅諗法。
Okay, one of our audience, Andy, ask Neil, may I ask a question to Neil? Neil, you live in Hong Kong, standing for a Western person. Is it hard for you to live happy? It's more political anyway.
I think
It's quite more political, man.
I think, to be honest with you, I've lived in other countries. I've been around the world. And I think, for me,
Yes,
that Hong Kong is a difficult place to beat.
yes.
I'm very happy here.
Yes.
I go outside, I see beautiful scenery,
Yes.
mountains, walks. I go and have food. I'm never disappointed. Okay?
Yes.
I like Chinese people for whatever
Yes,
reason.
yes.
I like them because I also find them very different and sometimes strange, but that's all,
Some people only.
some people.
Yes,
and that
yes,
excites
yes,
me.
Yes.
So I'm very happy here. I just get on and do what I do, and I'm very, very happy. So what can I tell you? I know people who have left Hong Kong, they've gone to the UK, and it's terrible. I tell you, I was there.
Yes.
It is terrible.
I can tell you something. If people haven't been living in the States or even UK or the Western world, you never can imagine. If you live in the Western world as a Chinese, okay, because my dad is not a Chinese, all right, but I look like a Chinese. You will live in a very hard life for the rest of your life.
Very, very hard. The UK is very,
Exactly.
very, very
Exactly.
hard.
Very,
I don't think
very
people quite get
fucking
it.
hard. I can tell you. Really, I mean it. I'm living in London for 6 years. I'm living in the States for 7 years. I can tell you, discriminations everywhere in the world.
It's very, very racist.
Exactly.
If you come to Hong Kong, there's no racist.
Exactly.
Nobody's racist
Exactly.
against you.
I can tell there's less racism in Hong Kong, but in Australia, in Canada, in UK, in the States, always discriminations. I mean, over there.
I
can tell
always
you.
know-
You bet.
When I go to China, I'm always treated very well.
Yes.
That's all I can
'Cause
say.
you're
I
Guilo, right?
I don't know, not because of that. I just think the
'Cause
people
you're-
are interested in you.
Because you're Guilo, right?
They're interested.
So, exactly. So, I mean, last but not least, I can tell you, Andy, Anil is a very, very happy man.
I'm happy.
He enjoys his life every single day. I can tell you, really, in Hong Kong especially.
I'm here.
Right.
I live in Hong Kong.
Yes.
And
Love Hong Kong.
this is where I live and
Yes.
I work, and that's where I'm staying.
Exactly. His company is in Hong Kong. One of his company anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
One of them, yes.
Excuse me.
They like you.
All right. All right. Let's go to another
好
slide.
快咁樣
講咗啊！
唔係
對唔住對唔住，
我好快講
已經死咯，唔記得咗。
解釋咗
All right. All right.
係
OK。
我好快解釋下呢
OK，OK，OK，
個答案咧，就係
係
其實阿 Neil 佢就住過世界唔同嘅地方嘅，咁但係佢覺得香港係真係冇得輸嘅，因為個即係景觀又好靚啦，
Right，
所有嘢都有啦，
冇
係啦。啲嘢食又好食啦，咁同埋係話佢都好中意
咪啲人又好啦，除嗰個撲街卓飛之外，係咪
係佢話所以有啲人係怪啲嘅。
You know what I say?
Guy, of course.
All right, okay. 即係撲街 and
Not,
卓
not,
飛
not, not Pakai,
啊
Pakai.
撲街嘅撲街卓飛啊！我睇你幾時死 ？OK， OK，all right。
咁啊，所以係除咗有啲人係怪啲之外，其實佢話都即係整體係好中意中國人啊，好多人都好好嘅。咁佢話其實見有啲朋友都去咗英國咧，係哇真係 terrible，真係好差嘅。同埋阿台長都話啦，即係外國都生活咗咁多年，嗰個即係歧視嘅情況係，如果你亞洲人樣嘅話係好難受嘅，同埋係即係西方人係唔會接受嘅。咁但係香港反而係冇呢個情況。阿 Neil 話，就算佢翻到國內都即係好多人都好中意佢啊咁樣。
係。
咁所以
因為你唔同嘅一樣嘢，因為佢係個鬼佬。
係。
佢
其實
係 Western people。
但係其實我覺得香港人翻大陸，大陸人都對香港人好好。
都係嘅。
都係嘅，都係嘅。
係我哋香港啲服務質素係越嚟越差咁解啫嘛，所以點解我經濟越嚟越差都係咁解。死啦！我哋講下講經濟，唔好啦。OK，anyway。
Well, I'm human,
Yeah.
so you can ask your audience
Yes.
how many would come if we did a live show, a live meetup somewhere.
All right， 咁
You know, we could ask them.
Well, actually,
And I'll say hello to
we
everybody.
already planned a live in Thailand, your hotel, right?
Yeah, but I mean
You forget
meeting
it?
them face to face.
哦，OK，咁佢就話咧，嗱，我哋都可以咧去搞一個活動嘅，而 which is 呢個活動咧就係 Neil 同你 in person， 即係話咧 face to face 現場可以見嘅。咁其實咧，
就唔知佢哋啲反應係咯。
咁一定你唔放心啦，大佬，我哋一吹雞好揦多人嚟㗎。嗱，because actually we have a gathering and in the coming April, the first
May.
week of
First 3 days in May.
first May, all right?
Yeah, May. We already.
You want
closed
to
it.
arrange?
No,
Yeah, it's arranged. You got to get
No,
the
the
tickets.
villa.
Oh, the villa, okay. Okay.
Another gathering. You mean another
Okay,
gathering?
okay, another gathering. I mean, all right. 嗱，有兩樣嘢。第一樣嘢咧就係我哋嚟緊咧，我會同阿 Neil 咧會喺 Thailand 佢嘅酒店啊，佢自己嘅酒店咧會做一個 live 嘅，all right。And then 第二樣嘢咧，陣間我會同阿 Neil 同阿 Jenny 傾一傾咧。We have another gathering. If you guys want to come over to meet Neil in person, all right, let us know, and then I will arrange a place, a venue that have a casual dinner.
And they
all
can
right?
ask any questions they
And
like.
係啦，你哋可以問任何一個問題啊，UFO 又好，USO 又好，乜都好，你都可以問佢問題。咁所以如果係咁樣嘅話呢 OK， 我想我哋翻去個大畫面先，因為我好難睇啊嗰個 chat room，屌乜真係住出咁細。咁呢，嗱，我話翻俾大家聽啦，嗱，你答一答我 ，all right， 嗱，you can see the chat room，all right。而家我想問一問 ，OK， 英文又好，中文最好英文啦，因為俾佢睇到啊嘛，大佬中文佢鬼乸識睇咩？咁呢，話翻俾我聽。Do you guys willing to have a gathering with Neil in person? If you want to ask any question related to UFO, 即係 including some political issue whatever 啦，咁呢 you are totally welcome. You are mostly welcome to do so. All right. 如果係嘅話 I will arrange it, say maybe in the mid of April, and I will see a new schedule if he is in Hong Kong. All right. If he's in Hong Kong, then I will arrange a gathering with you guys, okay? And then you can ask whatever you want to ask. All right? 得唔得？
Good idea.
All right, cool. 好啦，咁我中文講多一次啦，就係如果你哋想去 meet 啊，唔係咁個 meet 啊，想見啊 Neil 有啲咩問題 related 係啦，一啲嘅飛碟啊，一啲UFO一啲嘅一啲好 weird 嘅 phenomena 嘅話咧，唔緊要啊！我哋而家嚟緊咧會有一個 gathering， 而 which is 呢個 gathering 就係 meet with Neil in person 嚇。And then 可能佢會俾啲真，我就會拗啲佢啲珍藏俾大家睇下，係咪先啲？
同埋秘密故事啦。
我哋啲拗王嚟啊嘛，我哋呢啲係嘛 ？Vernon say must join。All right， 喂，踴躍啲啦，你老味，踴躍啲啦。 Sure, happy to join you. All right, OK， 好，得兩個，你哋死唔死啊？600人，而家你600人睇緊個直播，得2個人講話 must join，and then Queenie Kwok 就係 sure happy to join。喂，有冇人啦 ？Come on， 係嘛？好，冇啊得 OK。魚蛋一定啦，你肯定 join 呢次動波嚟㗎啦。魚蛋 say join，all right。好啦，咁有3個人好，我哋就3個人咧就 join 啦，好冇？咁我哋就即係員工就多過啲人嘅。OK， 10個員工3個人 join。
I don't know if you know, but you know that Jim Kuhn was on our first Jim was on our first UFO tour.
Really?
Yeah, he was with us.
哇，你好啦
He saw everything. The UFOs. He saw more than I saw. I only saw one.
OK，應該係4月中啦，好唔好啊？4月中啦，阿 Sheila 話when and then I said maybe in the mid of April. Can you do it in the mid of April?
Middle of April should be okay.
OK， 咁阿 Neil 話冇問題，月中4月中啊，唔係今個月中啊，而家已經今個月中啦嚇。好啦，everybody say yes。OK， 好嗱，留意我哋嘅直播，我哋都要做 banner， 要成我哋要 arrange 個場啦，係嘛？喂，不如咁啦，喂，叫阿 Jim 去分享下，喂，你第一次去阿 Neil 個 tour 咧，你見到啲乜嘢啊？除咗阿 Neil 之外，
當然係即係嗰陣時就2013年啦，咁就其實嗰陣時好少人係即係講一啲好專業嘅一啲 UFO 嘅一啲資訊咁樣嘅，咁啊聽到即係嗰個仆街卓飛啦，即係
你都覺得佢咪？你覺得佢係咪仆街嚟啊？我想問下。
嗰陣時覺得佢冇乜誠意咯，搞個 trip 即係坦白講即係。
我都想喺外人嗱，你都係個外人啦，係嘛？咁佢哋都睇阿 Neil 睇咗好耐啦，係咪？你講一講你點睇阿卓飛其實呢個仆街？
我覺得嗰個都幾金錢掛帥，即係
係嘛？即嗱呢個嗱，我同你講，我要俾佢戴一頭盔先，因為阿 Jim 咧其實係純粹一個聽眾嚟嘅啫。總之佢係中意 UFO 嘅，因為佢今日咧阿 Neil 就7點嚟到，咁佢6點幾已經嚟到㗎啦，等阿 Neil 就同佢傾偈咁樣。咁你點睇？你就話一個金錢掛帥嘅人啦，係嘛？即係冇乜誠意搞個 tour 啦，係嘛？頭先你話齋係
唔係太有誠意咯？即係其實成個 tour，我覺得個核心咧係真係要有一啲真係星際學專家，真係對於成個星際文明係有深入了解嘅。係。咁我其實喺成個 trip 裏面，我見到真係有呢個知識嘅。
佢係金錢學專家，
即係真係即係阿 Neil 先可以即係有呢個。即係一個內涵係可以帶到成個 trip 係有靈魂。
明白，多謝你 Jim。咁你可唔可以去講俾我哋啲聽眾聽？當次有一個嗰個 tour 啦，其實你感受到啲咩，或者你自己見到啲咩？因為譬如咧 say 可能做啲 channeling，因為我見到啲阿 Neil 嘅片，可能你會見到一啲 UFO 喺個上邊咧，啲光點係嘛？即係佢都播過喺我哋嘅節目度，其實好 amazing 嘅成件事。你可唔可以講一講俾大家聽啊？
其實嗰陣時就會喺一啲空地上面去做一啲我哋叫 C5 啦，咁就佢都會係引導我哋點樣去做一啲類似冥想嘅一啲活動啦，去 call 去將我哋嘅 energy 集中埋一齊，去 call 啲 UFO 去出現咁樣。咁其實我覺得呢個係一個即係都係要有某程度上嘅一個流程嘅熟悉啦，或者係嗰個靈性嘅嗰個力量啦，先可以引導到我哋去做啲咁嘅活動咁樣咯。咁我諗成個 trip 呢個重點
係啦，個重點嚟啦。你見唔見到咧？
其實嗰陣時我係即係都係 expect， 即係都係最主要係真係想睇到滿天係 UFO 咯。咁嗰陣時係會見到係
滿天 UFO， 你都好貪心。
當然冇咁誇張嘅，但係我會見到哇，原來真係可以多得咁緊要。
即係都真係見到有一啲光點係喐嘅，係咪？
係啊，係。好快有一個飄過，好快一個飄過，即係當然唔係肉眼睇到，佢要透過一個 green 綠色嘅電視，一個 green TV through the green TV we can see the UFO。
Oh yeah,
but not by our naked eyes， 唔係透過我哋嘅肉眼咯，係透過一個綠色嘅電視。
將肉眼係睇唔到嘅。
冇咁清楚。
barely 睇到啦，我哋叫做
佢要睇
barely can see 啦，
一個 green TV 先睇到咯，
就會清楚啲見到。
係啊，
喂，呢個咧嗱，其實咧 Jim 你講得好啱啊。Remember, I asked you a question when you are in Hong Kong. I can drive you to anywhere in Hong Kong. We can do the same CE5 again.
You like CE5, but you remember you get the hitchhiker effect.
Yeah, no problem. I won't worry about it. 嗱，因為咧嗱，呢個咧，我諗我哋啲圍內嘅人咧試一試嗱，跟住我哋有好多樣嘢，其實喂講下大件事啊。 第一，我同阿 Neil 喺 Thailand 佢嘅his own hotel doing live。The second one is the gathering, and the third one 就係我哋可能會請啲圍內，因為其實阿魚蛋都知㗎啦。請啲圍內嘅人呢，就做咗一次先，因為我唔知咧，由 channeling 咧咁幾廿人咁行花市咁樣，大佬你啲人。
阿 Casa 都話 join。
係嘛 ？OK。Want
to join too？
Who's that？
Casa 係啊
Casa。
Casa 都話
OK，all right。我 update 你哋好嘛？但係頭先我講呢三樣嘢咧係會發生嘅，得唔得？好冇 ？OK。咁所以喺呢個情況下咧，我諗即係頭先阿 Jim 亦都分享咗啦。原來喺 C5 嘅過程之中咧，佢係 through 一個 green mon 或者一個 green TV 咧，可以睇到，或者肉眼就 barely 睇到，即係可以睇到，但係好辛苦咁樣睇到咁樣啦。咁我覺得呢個 C5 係值得去試一嗱。講真，小弟未試過做呢個 C5，I never tried before，so that's why I count on you。
哦，see，
擺佢上台先啦。
因為咧，唔係其實 Neil 其實都成日都話有個 hitchhiker effect，就係話之前咧嗰個平衡者。
係有個
hitchhiker 咧，就係話當你做 C5 嘅時候咧，其實你見到好多 UFO， 但係其實唔止係一啲正面嘅外星人喺度嘅。你開咗個門咧，其實好多啲
呢啲華人都嚟
係啦，冇錯啦。其實你等於開咗道門，咁啊 welcome 任何人嚟嘅。咁佢哋可能會跟埋你翻屋企，所以阿 Neil 就話喂，其實佢會見到有啲影啊，或者有啲人嚇佢嘅，好似發夢咁樣，好似噩夢咁樣。咁所以話呢一個係個係啦，其實呢一個係一個好大嘅原因。點解阿 Neil 就提話 hitchhiker effect 係
即係
C5 係咪諗過先啊？大家
即係呢個係啦 hitchhiker effect 係講緊咧，佢 he's a bit worrying about 你哋參與咗 if you just participate in this event and when you go back home maybe some kind of will follow you. Is that right?
Also, it's like treating them like a seal, asking them to perform. This is not a performance. This is the thing. It's a respectful situation. So that's the other thing is the respectful situation.
Okay, so 3 questions I want to ask. I mean, 我費事間話我擺佢上台啦。Okay.
Yeah.
The first thing, can we do the gathering in the middle of April? The venue, I will find a venue for you.
Yeah, I've just got to check one thing. I have one business meeting which I need to know within a week.
Oh, no problem.
And then I will tell you, and then we can.
Okay. Oh, okay, no problem.
Yeah,
Ask
then
your
we can
business
do it.
partner to join as well.
I don't have.
Then you
I don't have a partner. Not anymore.
All right. So I mean, okay. Anyway, the secondly, the what is that? The gathering, and then the live. Okay, it's confirmed. The live. I can do the live in Thailand, right?
Yeah, you're going to sit there. We'll talk.
Yes.
You can do a show.
All right.
No
Lastly, it's the CE5. Can we do it in May? Can it be happen in May?
All depends.
Oh, depends.
Depends on the signal I get. Sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's the signal. If the feeling is there, yes. If the feeling is not there, it's impossible.
好嗱，咁如果係咁樣嘅話咧，嗱，大家嗱唔好問住啊，唔好 WhatsApp 我哋住。OK， 嗱有3樣嘢啦，頭先講過啦。我哋公司嘅人咧都會5月咧會過泰國嘅，咁可能咧即係會放幾日㗎啦。我哋可能有機會，咁你哋唔介意啊？如果喺泰國度做 live 嘅話，呢個第一啦。第二咧就係個 gathering 啦。個 gathering 佢就話咧要睇睇個 schedule 嚇 ，mid of April 可能有機會嘅。第3樣嘢啦，就係咩咧？就係就係嗰個 C5 啦，係啦。咁 C5 嗰度咧就佢話要睇一睇個 schedule，佢話有個 business meeting。咁啊I think Neil will come back to me，OK，and then I'll let you guys know，right？So 咁哇正啊，今晚得唔得？好得啊！
落咗好多嘢，即刻
落咗好多 order。
你記唔記得阿 Jenny 個額頭咧？而家阿 Jenny 嘅額頭喺度冷汗啊，大佬！你記唔記得佢個頭拎啊？OK 嘅。咁啊，俾呢度真係要多謝 Jenny 噶啦，即係都唔好意思啦 ，cause I'm in the middle of something， 即係上一次啦，咁所以 cannot participate in live 啦，咁所以咧 ，as long as 阿 Neil 同阿 Jenny 喺度嘅話咧，放心 ，Adam 一定會喺度嘅 ，OK， 咁所以咧，don't worry，cause I've been telling our audience if Neil and Jenny come over，Adam will for sure will beside you.
Okay,
all right,
good.
We'll all
good.
participate in that.
Yes.
好，咁啊。 今晚正啊，係嘛？咁陣間咧，阿 Grace 應該就應該有嘢問阿 Neil 啦，應該係嘛？
係啊，其實我哋有好多問題，
呢啲問題少女啊，啲問題少男啊，呢啲下問真係㗎
真係有一
啦，
個問題，我覺得我一定要問嘅。
係嘛？你而家你問啦，不如
三星堆，
係。
你哋記唔記得三星堆嗰啲面具？
我知啊，喂，三星堆英文係咩啊？
係乜嘢？
英文係乜嘢我都唔知。
我係上網
有
睇過
冇
三
咁邊位朋友知道？
喂，三星堆英文係咩啊？Free Star Dome 啊
You know the
其實
Chinese
係點解
relates
？Dome。Do you know the Chinese 的三星堆？Did you in Mandarin is 三星堆是吧？我都唔知。
OK，哇，真係
係嘛
就咁譯音。
三星堆啊
It is
，in China in 西
Oh,
安
yeah, yeah,
係咪
yeah.
西係咪西
Yeah, yeah.
安啊？三星堆，
佢
死啊！三星堆喺邊啊？啊，Chris 啊，三星堆喺邊啊？
唉，我老公熟啲。
So what about 你個問題係咩啊？三星堆係咪外星
Re
人
唔 relate
？Is it related to
外星人或
aliens？
者
Yeah, it
係
looks like very
Reptilian.
much like the
Yes.
South American.
Yeah. This is
South
found in
American.
this is found in China in Xi'an.
Yeah,
very famous。
yeah.
That cannot. It's hard to assemble the tree.
Even
Okay.
today，
Yeah.
Hey, Neil.
even
the
the
eyes.
technology。
One last question.
Yeah.
Andy Chen want to ask Neil. I just want to say once about what happened to you and Chris Tai and other free jerks people. We know your past. Stand with those guys.
Not Chris Tai. I don't really know Chris Tai. I just seen him there.
Yeah, he's a gay guy. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. He's
I
a
don't
jerk. He's a jerk anyway. Yes. Every you know 佢哋
四川。
四川. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
they have their own show. Chris Tai. He has his own music show, and
Music
nothing to do
show.
with me.
Yeah, the gay show.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right.
I don't know
anyway.
that. I don't know much
Yeah.
about it.
All right.
Thank you。
OK，多謝大家嘅捧場啦，咁啊好正啦，亦都多謝阿 Jim 啦，Jim 應該有好多嘢繼續問阿 Neil 嘅。咁啊呢度咧唔好意思啊，等叫阿 Grace 坐喺度呆坐都唔好意思，真係搞到
好
真係
interesting。
係 very
係
interesting。
學識好多嘢
其實我都知道，真係原來發覺到有好多嘢，譬如好似我頭先嗰條蛇咁樣捲下咧，就係嗰條蛇原來係上咗去個
哦係 upper
upper
world
level 度，係啦 upper world 度。
係
咁我覺得哇，it's so interesting, right? So thanks Jenny,
關太
thanks
太
Neil.
Thank
I
you,
mean,
everyone.
we are looking for. Hey, when you come back again, you know,
Oh, we gotta-
can you just do twice a month? Because now you are
Depends.
going once a month now. I mean,
係 Neil 真係好
everybody.
忙，佢就飛
I
啊
know. 又飛啊？去邊啊？
Where were you last time? We came here. You weren't here. We couldn't find you.
I know. Only
We looked
one
for you, we
time.
couldn't
Only
find you.
one time. But I promise you, I will be here waiting for you. Okay, waiting
All
for
right.
you.
Let's
All
see.
right.
We come when we can come. You know.
係因為都有啲 schedule 係
Thank
要
you for
Yeah,
your
schedule.
very constructive answer.
Great show。
I come when I can come. All right. Very
In all
logical.
cases.
Very logical answer. All right. OK.
Okay.
好多謝大家嘅支持。咁啊，我哋要放假啦。咁啊，放假咧要同大家講聲啊，我哋星匯網嘅實體店啊，就係會休息啊。由3月29，因為我哋都有好多嘅聽眾問，喂，你哋假期休唔休息啊？我哋休息嘅真係嚇，咁啲同事都真係好辛苦，咁所以咧
要佢
我哋就
充下電。
係啦，我哋全公司休息啊！你唔好上嚟啦嚇。3月29號至4月1號嚇，我哋全店休息4日。4月2號星期2正常營業，咁即係我哋29星期5停止冇直播嚇。4月1號亦都停止冇直播。4月2號吹啊！我講停止有直播啊，唔係冇停止有直播。OK，咁啊4月2號咧就照常，即係我哋4月2號咧實體店同埋直播咧都會照常嘅。咁有啲咩問題嘅，麻煩 WhatsApp 98842492，我啲同事我哋嘅客服咧就會好殷勤咁樣招待大家噶啦嚇。OK，得唔得？就係咁啦。OK。咁啊，今晚多謝繼續去多謝，係繼續多謝啦嚇，多謝阿 Jim 啦，多謝 Jenny 啦，多謝阿 Neil 啦，多謝阿 Grace 啦，我哋等到下星期一啊，我睇下我幾時約佢，預約呢個人，我睇下幾時約佢咧做我嘉賓嚇，即係我扭佢啲嘢出嚟，好勁啊呢個人。OK，好嘛？好啦，咁啊，多謝大家，好啦，Have a very good night。聽日係星期啊，星期六啊，有個開心嘅愉快嘅週末 ，Have a nice weekend，all right。咁啊，聽日如果都想嚟買嘢嘅嚇，繼續上嚟啦，係咁啦，拜拜。
週末愉快，
拜拜。